by definition, the product of the mind. Pháp là cái sản phẩm của cái óc của quý vị. Alright? Nghĩa là sao? What does it mean? A dharma is whatever the mind can conceive of, can think of, 谢谢你。我的脾气来了。谁给你做翻译呢？
还不知道。看到没看到人。不要急。
It's amazing that most Vietnamese, Chinese don't understand their own Mahayana, Chinese Mahayana, and they're not learning either. They're learning whatever, but Chinese Mahayana. Cái pháp là bất cứ cái gì mà tâm quý vị có thể nghĩ tới. Okay? So it means that it encompasses everything in this world. Cái pháp là nó bao gồm tất cả, vạn vật, tất cả những cái gì tất cả cái gì quý vị có thể suy nghĩ tới. So far so good. So it's like everything and anything. Pháp có nghĩa là bất cứ cái gì và tất cả cái gì. Okay? Why is that? Because your mind is able to conceive of everything in this universe. Tại sao vậy? Tại cái tâm quý vị nó có thể nghĩ ra tất cả những gì trong cái vũ trụ này. Okay? Therefore, if you think of vampires, vampires will exist. Nói cách khác, nếu quý vị mà nghĩ tới mấy cái loài quỷ hút máu, quỷ hút máu thực sự nó có. Okay? If you think of anything whatsoever, you think of angels, then angels do exist. Quý vị nghĩ tới con thiên thần thì thiên thần thực sự nó có. 任何你可以所想的都是法。Okay? So far so good? This is why the mind, in other words, is able to create anything in this universe. Nói cách khác, cái tâm quý vị nó tạo ra vạn vật trong cái vũ trụ này. Everything in this universe is a byproduct of your thinking mind. Khi tất cả mọi việc, mọi cái sự kiện, mọi vật trong vũ trụ này là tạo ra nhờ cái óc của quý vị, từ cái óc quý vị nó tạo ra. Okay, take the example of the iPhone. Ví dụ, the iPhone you're using, the smartphone you're using, is a product of your imagination. Ví dụ, cái điện thoại mà quý vị cầm trong tay đó là một cái điển hình ví dụ cho một cái sản phẩm từ cái óc của quý vị, cái óc sáng tạo của quý vị. So far so good. Why do we tell you these things? Nói cái việc để làm cái gì? So that put your mind to good use. Bởi vậy quý vị biết để mà biết dùng cái trí mình để làm chuyện tốt, để làm chuyện hữu dụng. Do not put your mind into doing bad deeds and plotting and scheming to hurt others for your own benefit. Nói cách khác là quý vị không nên dùng cái trí quý vị để mà mưu toan, để mà hãm hại người khác, làm chuyện xấu để tư lợi. On the other hand, if you put your mind to good use, Mà nếu quý vị dùng cái trí quý vị để làm chuyện tốt, để làm chuyện đạo đức, live a virtuous life, then you better off. Thì như vậy quý vị sẽ thăng tiến. Okay? Now, Buddhism, we also break down the dharmas into categories. Okay? Thì trong Phật pháp á, thì Đức Phật giảng pháp đó, ngài giảng ra cái pháp đó có thể chia ra rất nhiều cái loại. The used in the consciousness school, trong cái duy thức học. This is one of the more advanced schools in Buddhism. Duy thức học là một trong những cái tông phái về Phật giáo mà nó cao xa hơn những tông phái khác. Okay. They can break down into the dharmas into countless classifications. Thì họ có thể phân chia những cái pháp nó ra rất vô lượng vô biên cái chủng loại khác nhau. However, Venerable Vasubandhu, nhưng đều ngài Thiên Thân Bồ Tát, he realized that, ngài mới thấy rằng là cái pháp mà chia nhiều như vậy mình không thể nào hiểu được. You would lose track of them. You have no way of understanding. So he further condensed all these classifications into 100 kinds of dharmas. Ngài mới gom góp lại tất cả những cái pháp mà trong cái duy thức học đó, gom lại để chia thành còn 100 cái pháp còn lại thôi. So they classified them into 100 dharmas. So every single thing in this universe belongs to one of these 100 dharmas, as classified by Vasubandhu. Thành tất cả mọi vật trong vũ trụ nào, trong thế gian này đều thuộc về một trong 100 cái loại pháp mà ngài Thiên Thân Bồ Tát đã sáng tạo ra. Okay, so what are they? They are of 5 major categories, and một cái 100 pháp này nó có 5 cái loại chính. The number one is mind dharma, một loại là tâm pháp. Okay. Second is dharma interactive with my mind. Thứ nhì là tâm sở pháp. Okay. And there are 51 of them. 51. The second kind of dharmas interactive with the mind are actually the servants or ministers of the mind, of the number one. Thành cái 51 cái loại tâm sở pháp này á, là thuộc về là tay sai của cái tâm pháp. Okay. And number 3 form dharmas, sắc pháp. There are 11 of them, có 11 loại. Okay. They're basically shadows of the previous two. Cái một loại này á là cái hình bóng của những cái loại pháp kia. Okay. And number 4, cái loại pháp thứ tư là dharmas non-interactive with the mind, tâm bất tương ưng hành pháp. They are the remaining independent dharmas. Đó là 24 cái mà nó không có liên quan gì tới những cái pháp khác. And number 5, và fifth kind, và cái loại cuối cùng, unconditioned dharmas. All the other dharmas are conditioned dharma. Từ cái loại pháp thứ 1 tới thứ 4 là loại pháp hữu vi. Cái loại thứ 5 này là pháp vô vi. Okay. They are by characteristics revealed by the previous 4. Cái pháp vô vi này á, nó được hiển lộ ra nhờ những cái pháp trước. This is why it's so interesting, rất đặc biệt. Quý vị muốn học vô vi là học những pháp hữu vi mới thấy được cái vô vi. So in other words, you learn about the unconditioned dharmas by looking at the conditioned dharmas. Okay? And they are the kinds of dharma that the people who have attained liberation know about. Là những cái người mà đắc giải thoát rồi mới thấy được. In other words, the first four, nói cách khác, 4 cái loại pháp đầu tiên hết đó, are the ones that we know of. Con người thế gian này chỉ học được 4 cái loại pháp đầu tiên thôi. The first four kinds are only can be grasped, can be understood by worldly people. But the fifth kind, như là cái loại vô vi pháp số 5 này á, okay, only people who have wisdom can understand them, can really understand. Những cái người mà thiệt sự có trí huệ mới hiểu được. In other words, there's no way for them to make you understand. Nói cách khác, họ không có cái cách nào mà giảng cho quý vị biết là pháp vô vi là cái gì. So far, so good. Any questions? Okay.
The unconditioned ones, can you name any of them? Or they just like so far out of our realm that just forget?
Nirvana is one.
Okay.
Buddha nature is another. Okay. Ông này ông hỏi là cho tôi một cái ví dụ về pháp vô vi là gì không? Thì nói chẳng hạn như niết bàn là vô vi. There's no way to help you understand what nirvana is. Quý vị không cách nào mà cho quý vị biết, mô tả được quý vị cái niết bàn là cái gì hết. There's no way to help you understand what your Buddha nature is like. Không cách nào mà làm quý vị hiểu được cái Phật tính quý vị là cái gì hết. You have to see yourself. Quý vị tự thấy đấy. Quý vị phải tự nhập niết bàn quý vị mới hiểu được. You have to enter nirvana yourself before you know what it is. Okay? Any questions? Okay. 106, tấm 106. We are talking about form dharma, nói về cái sắc pháp. There are 11 types, cái sắc pháp cũng có 11 loại. The 5 roots or the 5 organs, ngũ căn, tức là 5 cái giác quan của quý vị đó. The 5 dust, ngũ cảnh. They are the objects of the 5 roots. Đó là những cái đối tượng của cái ngũ căn của quý vị. And the dharma pertaining to form, là những cái vô biểu sắc. These are the shadows on the mind. Okay. Cái vô biểu sắc là cái hình bóng của những cái sắc pháp. Any questions? Don't try to understand. When you listen to the dharma, thầy nhắc lại quý vị, nghe pháp á, đừng có hiểu. Those you are new to us, mấy người mới tới đó, quý vị không có hiểu là cứ mỗi lần nghe pháp có đòi hiểu á, là nghe pháp là không biết cách nghe pháp. I know most people try to listen to Dharma and they try to understand, and that's wrong because that's not how you should listen to the Dharma lectures. Nghe giảng pháp không nên như vậy. Just listen, chỉ ngồi nghe thôi. Okay? If you happen to understand, fine. You know, if you don't understand, fine. Thì mình nghe hiểu cũng được, không hiểu cũng được. The most important part is that if you're able to do that, cái quan trọng nhất á, nếu quý vị mà có thể nghe pháp mà không cần hiểu đó, then you have the best kind of seats possible in your consciousness. Như vậy á, thì cái chủng tử quý vị đó trồng trong cái tiềm thức quý vị nó là tốt, là thường đẳng. Okay, for example, children get bored out of their wits. Con nít ngồi nghe pháp mà nhàm chán dễ sợ lắm. They don't know what's going on. Okay, they wonder what are these adults up to. Hỏi mấy người lớn làm chuyện kỳ cục vậy. But because they don't understand, that's why the fact they're hearing, they're seeing, như cái tai nghe, mắt thấy. Okay, đủ trồng chủng tử là that's good enough to plant Mahayana seeds in them. And that's tremendous blessings for. Như vậy là vô lượng vô biên công đức. Okay? It's way beyond your comprehension. Okay? Cái này là nó quý vị có thể là mường tượng được. Any questions? 107. You can also look at form dharmas, nói về cái sắc pháp. For those of you who are new, form is something that has, you can look at here, that has, can be seen. Sắc pháp là gì? Sắc là có thể hiển sắc, có nghĩa là có thể thấy được. You can see with your sense organs. Quý vị thấy được với cái ngũ căn của quý vị. It has a shape. There's có cái hình sắc. Okay, so it's long or short or round or square. Nó có một cái hình tướng. Okay. The third kind, cái thứ ba, observable là biểu sắc. Meaning there are actions that having opposites can be observed. Những cái hành động nó có những cái tương ứng, cái phản ảnh của nó mà có thể thấy được. For example, you pick up something or you drop, lấy hoặc là thả ra. You walk or you sit or you stand or you recline. Quý vị có đi, đứng, nằm, ngồi, đó là những cái hành động quý vị thấy được. Okay? Or you fold and you stretch. Okay? All these are actions that can be observed. That's called observable form. Okay? So there's the three kinds of form dharmas. Đó là những cái hình sắc, sắc pháp quý vị thấy được. 108. They also can be classified as three types. Có những cách khác của cái sắc pháp là gì? Can be seen, can be identified, có thể thấy được và có thể đối được. Meaning that you can see with the eyes and you can connect with it, correlate with it. Có nghĩa quý vị thấy mà có thể hiểu được, có thể mường tượng được. There's something you cannot be seen and yet you can identify. That's the second kind. Những cái loài mà quý vị không thấy nhưng để có thể mường tượng nó được. Chẳng hạn như âm thanh, cái hương vị. For example, the objects of touch, smells, and so on. And number 109, can neither seen nor identify. Không thể thấy mà không có thể mường tượng được. Okay? Such as images in your mind. You know, your mind fabricates things. Quý vị biết cái tâm quý vị đó, nó tự tạo ra những cái hình tướng của nó. Anyone had that problem before? Có ai nhớ chuyện đó không? The mind, when you think of something, it fabricates an image. Quý vị biết không? Khi mà cái tâm quý vị nó nghĩ tới cái gì đó, bỗng nhiên nó tự trào trong óc của mình đó. It's called in your mind's eye you can see something. Cái mắt của cái óc của quý vị đó thấy được cái gì đó. Because it's your mind that creates that image. Tại vì cái tâm quý vị nó tạo cái hình dáng đó. For example, ví dụ, can someone give me an example of an image of the mind? Ai cho ví dụ cho thầy được không? Ví dụ của một cái hình của cái hình tướng của cái óc của quý vị. Hả? What? 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 Abstract art? Oh, yes! No, what I mean, abstract art is not. It can be. If you can identify that, then it doesn't belong here. Okay, it's only in your mind, it's not outside. Cái óc quý vị mới thấy được thôi. Only your mind can see it. For example, an image of your old boyfriend. Yeah. Now you look at him. Oh, now you're so bold and fat. the mind plays tricks on you. You only retain an image of that handsome and gorgeous and godlike boyfriend. This is why you're still so attracted to him. And then you see him now, say, oh my God, what have you become? What happened to you? Okay? Yes? Jean. Dream is an excellent example. Những cái hình tướng của những người xa, những người cũ, người xưa, quý vị vẫn giữ những cái hình dáng đó trong óc của quý vị. Bây giờ thấy trong thực tế thấy xấu xí mà già cả, mà bùn phệ, tóc bạc, tóc phê. Một cái ví dụ khác rất hay là cái giấc mộng của quý vị. Your dreams are just that. Okay. Any questions? Is it clear? Yeah. All those are form dharmas. Just be aware of that. Nghe cho tôi biết. Okay. Okay. Now we're gonna go a little bit higher. So the Heart Sutra says, Tâm Kinh nói, form itself is emptiness. Emptiness itself is form. Sơ chỉ sự空,空chỉ sự sơ. Sắc tức thì không, không tức thì thật. He says that whatever you see are just the same as emptiness. This is what drives ordinary people crazy. Đức Phật mới nói là tất cả những cái sắc pháp đó chỉ là không thôi. Thật là không. Thành cái người thường nghe cái này là mới khó chịu. Bởi vì nhà Phật mới gọi là cái cửa không như vậy. This is why they call Buddhism the Dharma door emptiness. Okay? It says here, if you really wise, nếu quý vị thiệt sự mà có trí huệ đó, okay, then you will able to see. Lúc mà cái người mà quý vị có thiệt sự có trí huệ đó, thì lúc đó quý vị thấy cái sắc với cái không nó chỉ là không khác, nó chỉ là một thôi. You will be able to see that form itself is emptiness, and emptiness itself is form. Và cái không chỉ là sắc. In other words, the theory, the Buddhist jargon is wonderful existence does not obstruct true emptiness, and vice versa. Meaning, form does not obstruct emptiness, emptiness does not obstruct form. Có nghĩa là sắc với lại không đó, nó không có chướng ngại nhau. What does it mean to you? What does it mean to? What does it mean to you? Sắc tức thì không, không tức thì khác, nghĩa là sao? Yes, sir.
Well, it's easier to see that emptiness, that form is emptiness, than it is to see that emptiness is form. When you get a form, you know that it's empty. But how do you see that emptiness is form? That's a little bit more. That's the form of emptiness.
So the question says that you really don't understand it. Câu hỏi là ông có hiểu được sắc là không, nhưng mà không mà sắc là xong ông vẫn chưa hiểu. Thì nói cách khác là cái người này hỏi câu hỏi này vẫn chưa hiểu như thường. That should be your common experience. Như vậy, nói cách khác, cái này á, là quý vị phải không thể nào hiểu được. You cannot understand. Later on, after this lecture, sau khi mà giảng kinh xong đó, we're going to do a rebirth transference. Chúng ta sẽ làm một cái hồi hướng công đức vãng sanh. The two people who need our help, cả hai người đang cần cái sự giúp đỡ của quý vị. The two beings, they are waiting. They are hoping that we are able to help them get the Pure Land. Hai cái vị này đó, ao ước được chúng ta giúp đỡ họ tạo công đức để họ đắc được cái vãng sanh về cõi Tây Phương Cực Lạc. Okay? So that's why when after we create all this merit and virtue, thành quý vị ngồi nghe giảng kinh như vậy tạo rất nhiều công đức. Even though you don't understand the thing, even these young ladies there say, what is this? You know, why can't I go shopping? Mấy cô trẻ của nó, tại sao mà mẹ bắt vào đây ngồi, cô bắt vào đây ngồi, thằng để tôi đi chơi, tới shopping vui hơn. Okay? The mere fact they hear, they themselves are creating mirror virtue. Ngồi nghe giảng kinh mà rất nhiều công đức. And later on, you know, young ladies, you're going to give them away to those two people. Are you willing to do that? See? Good girls. Hai cô này sẵn sàng chia sẻ những công đức đó cho những cái người này. Why is that they're suffering right now and they need our help? Họ cần cái sự giúp đỡ của các cô này, của tất cả quý vị. Okay? And the fact you listen to the sutra and later on we'll be reciting the sutra in Chinese. Lát nữa chúng ta sẽ tùng cái tâm kinh này bằng tiếng Hoa. Okay, that most of you don't understand. Và đại đa số quý vị không hiểu đó. Never mind about understanding. Most of you won't even be able to recite it in Chinese, especially text. After 7 years now, he still cannot pronounce Chinese properly. Nhất là cái ông da trắng này đó, đã theo với thầy là 7 năm trời rồi, nghe giảng kinh 7 năm trời. He's been coming to my lectures for the last 7 years now. Okay, and he still doesn't get the Chinese part yet properly. Sau 7 năm vẫn chưa đọc tiếng Hoa, vẫn chưa được như được. Even so, mặc dù như vậy, he still generates a lot of blessing. Nhưng mà mặc dù như vậy, nhưng đều vẫn là tạo rất nhiều công đức. Why is that? Tại sao như vậy? Why is that? It's not a waste of time. Quý vị không có phí thì giờ đâu. Why is that?
Well, the blessings in the form, in the sound, okay? They're inherent in the sound and the intention as well.
Quý vị không đọc được tiếng Hoa đây nữa. Even if you're not able to recite it properly, even if you cannot understand, mặc dù quý vị không có hiểu được nữa. Okay? But the fact that you listen to the sound of recitation, như để quý vị ngồi nghe cái âm thanh tụng thôi đó. That sound there enters your hearing, your ears. Âm thanh nó vào cái tai của quý vị. Okay? That creates tremendous merit and virtue. Nó tạo vô lượng vô biên công đức. That's why. Nó vì như vậy đó. Because someone else is reciting it and you stand there and receive the blessings from recitation. Mà quý vị đứng đó mà hấp thụ cái âm thanh của niệm như vậy. And this is a misconception about Buddhism. Cái này là cái sự hiểu lầm về Phật Pháp rất là lớn lao. For example, they said, I go to a temple and I don't understand what they're reciting. Có nhiều người ta nói, tôi tới chùa, tôi nghe mấy người ta tụng đó. Tiếng gì tôi không hiểu gì hết đó. Chính vì quý vị không hiểu đó, quý vị mới tạo nhiều công đức. It's because you don't understand, that's why you generate more blessings. Believe it or not. Just listening without trying to understand, that's how you generate the most blessings. Quý vị chỉ cần chú tâm nghe, chỉ nghe theo thôi, thì quý vị tạo công đức nhiều nhất. For example, the children, they have no choice, right? They have to stand there and listen what everyone's doing. Otherwise, there's no ice cream after the lecture. Am I correct, Auntie? Okay. Cái cô này không hiểu tiếng Hoa. You don't understand English very well, right? Someone translates for her. This poor woman, you know, she's unfortunately, my Chinese is not good enough to explain it to you. And if I try to explain in Chinese, I become so tired because I have to think. We're too tiring for me. I don't think. Ít suy nghĩ lắm. Thành ra mà bắt mà thầy mà nói tiếng Hoa mà thầy bắt đầu từ dịch từ tiếng Anh qua tiếng Hoa thầy chịu không nổi. See, it's tiring enough for me to talk in Vietnamese because I think in English and I translate into Vietnamese. Lúc mà thầy nói tiếng Việt á, là thầy nghĩ bằng tiếng Anh xong rồi dịch ra tiếng Việt. Okay, because that's how I'm used to thinking in English. So if I try to talk, to speak Chinese, then it's even more difficult for me. Nó càng khó khăn đối với thầy. Okay, so anyway, let's keep things simple. The fact that you in this among us listening to the sound of the recitation that generates tremendous blessings. Quý vị ở trong cái đại chúng như vậy, quý vị ngồi nghe những người khác tụng. If the other people are like if you in these people have are doing a good job, then you share in the same merit and virtues as those people. Những cái người mà tụng kinh đó, mà họ tụng kinh giỏi, khéo, thì cái công đức họ tạo ra cũng giống như quý vị. Công đức của quý vị giống như cái công đức của những người tụng kinh. So your blessings are the same as a person, the people who can recite. No different. Okay? So why do you have to understand? Quý vị đâu có cần hiểu đâu. Quý vị vẫn được công đức như thường. Okay? You have the blessings as well. You believe that? Có ai tin như vậy không? If it weren't the case, nếu không phải như vậy đó, I have proof for you. Nếu không phải như vậy đó, then we won't ever be able to help these deceased people. Nếu không phải như vậy thì những cái người chết này mình không thể giúp họ được. Okay? Because they also, the soul also get it. Tâm họ đó, họ đang làm quỷ, thì cái tâm họ và nghe được cái âm thanh này, được hồi hướng công đức này, thì cái công đức họ không khác gì của mình hết. Okay? Is it too much? Okay, so for us lay people, ordinary people, thì những cái người mà phàm phu đó, okay, there's no way for you to understand a form is itself is emptiness. Emptiness itself is form. Quý vị không thể nào thấy được. No way for you to see form itself is emptiness, or emptiness itself is form. Quý vị không cách nào mà thấy được cái này. It's impossible. Anyone would like to disagree with me? Có ai không đồng ý với thầy không? Please raise your hands. Okay? I know. Because I know none of you can understand this. Sự thật là thầy biết cái biển thầy nào hiểu được. Okay? And there's no way for me to help you understand. Không cách nào thầy giúp quý vị hiểu được hết. I can speak until I'm blue in the face. There's no way for you to understand it. Không cách nào quý vị hiểu được. Why? Remember? Tại sao nhớ không? Here. It's unconditioned dharma. Tại vì cái này là pháp vô vi. Mình đang nói về cái pháp vô vi, là cái sắc, cái chân không này á, nó là một cái pháp vô vi. True emptiness is an unconditioned dharma. Không cách nào quý vị hiểu được. There's no way for you to understand it. Just to be aware that there's something called true emptiness. That's all. And that true emptiness is the same as a form. Okay? Quý vị chỉ cần nhớ thôi. This is when you are supposed to memorize it. Quý vị chỉ cần nhớ thuộc lòng thôi. You memorize it. That's all. Yes.
The regular emptiness we can see.
Sorry?
Regular emptiness. There's emptiness and there's true emptiness. Just emptiness can be grasped and can be understood. You understand that things are empty. But true emptiness is different.
Right. Emptiness refers to true emptiness. Okay. Cái không này là usually we put this to help you understand. This is not just emptiness, but actually it's true emptiness. Okay. All right. So we still need to talk about this because these are things that you need to be exposed to. This is what is called the ultimate truth. Phải cần nói cho quý vị nghe, cần giảng, nói quý vị nghe, cần nhắc quý vị biết để biết sao là cái này là cái sự, cái gọi là sự cái chân thật. You know what the other religion call the truth and an absolute truth? There's no such a thing. Okay? Những cái tôn giáo khác họ gọi sự thật đó, họ không có chuyện đó. Sự thật của họ thiệt ra không phải là sự thật. Cái này là cái sự thật tối thượng. This is the ultimate truth. Why is it called ultimate truth? Tại sao nó gọi là cái sự chân thật, cái thật nó tối thượng?
No truth beyond it.
Why is that? Tại sao gọi là cái sự thật tối thượng? Please tell me. Yes, sir.
You said ultimate truth means there's no truth beyond it. Beyond that, there's no truth.
What does it do for you?
Does it do for me to know that?
Yes.
Right now, much.
Nothing, right? Thầy hỏi là cái ông này ông nói cái sự thật tối thượng nó không có cái gì nó cao hơn sự thật này. Thầy hỏi cao để làm cái gì? Well, these Americans, they're so theoretical. Mấy cái người Mỹ là nói toàn lý thuyết không ạ? Yes, Vicky, another American. You see, you should feel so overwhelmed because you're among the advanced Asians. Bởi mới nghĩ vào cái chùa mình rất là lép vế. Tại sao vậy? Thua người Á Châu. And they're not the only one. There's also Mexicans and, you know. You are not considered Asian, are you? No, right? You're not Asians. Mexicans are different. This is when we pick on the minorities. Yes?
So, Master, ultimate truth, is that related to a certain level of consciousness?
Yes. But what does it do for you?
Nothing right now.
Quý vị biết cái sự thật tối cao để làm cái gì? Come on! You Americans, you're supposed to be practical. Quý vị là người sống cái xứ Mỹ này, biết sự thật tối cao, tối thượng để làm cái gì? Huh? Just to know? Like Kim Điền says, I know. Như cô Kim Điền cũng nói, tôi biết. Thầy nói gì tôi cũng biết hết. I know everything the Master talks about. Cô Kim cũng vậy, cô nói, Master talks so much and he knows so much. I said, what for? Biết để làm cái gì? Yes, Anna. Cái óc nó không còn gì hết nữa. What for? I don't know about you, Anna, but last night I saw a nice car I like to think about. Cái cô nói là cái óc mà để nó trống cái gì cũng nghĩ. Thầy nói cô nói chuyện trên trời dưới đất vậy. Tối hôm qua thầy thấy cái xe cái cô đệ tử đó mua chiếc xe mới Audi S5. Nice. I still think about it this morning. Ngày hôm nay vẫn tối hôm qua thấy mà sáng nay vẫn còn nghĩ như thường. Last night I took a look. I sat in the driver's seat and said, wow. I still think about it right now. Bây giờ còn nghĩ đó nữa. And that's I call happiness. Cái đó gọi là hạnh phúc. Ashana, come on. You laughing? It's very expensive. This happiness comes with a high price. Cái giá này rất là cao. Quý vị đừng có cười. You laugh because you cannot afford it. Cái vị cười là tại cái vị không có mua không nổi. Yeah. Bên trẻ biết cái sự thật là làm cái gì? Về Chúa Trời. She says that she wants to know the ultimate truth so that she can go and be near God. Yeah. Mấy tụi công giáo với nhau, these Catholics, the Christians are hopeless. Chỉ muốn về với Chúa thôi. They all want to be near God. I said, oh my God, this is horrible. Biết sự thật để làm cái gì? Why do you want to know the ultimate truth? Come on. Please don't let me down. Cái vì sao mà vô minh như vậy? Biết cái chân thật để làm cái gì? See, you talk to a professor of Buddhology at U, Wisconsin or Berkeley. They say, why do you want to know the truth? And because it be, and then I get a raise. Okay? Mấy người biết cái sự thật, mấy giáo sư biết sự thật là để mà được cái tăng lương, tăng chức. Okay? Become more famous. I become a real scholar, Buddhist scholar. Okay? Cái người bên Tây Tạng, you know that Tibetans, a very interesting system, hệ thống Tây Tạng rất là hay. You go to the temples, there are hundreds of them, cả trăm cái vị sư ở trong chùa. Men only, by the way, no women. Okay. Mấy ông sư ở với nhau thôi, 100 người ở với nhau. What do they do all day? Học cái gì? Cả ngày họ làm cái gì? What do you think they do? They study. Học giáo lý. They know, they learn about the ultimate truth. Họ học về cái chân thật là gì? Okay? They learn about the ultimate truth. And no one ever asks. Và không bao giờ ai hỏi hết đó. If I were them, I were, my being so American. If I were there, you know what the first thing I asked? Why should I bother learning about the ultimate truth? Thầy hỏi ngay lập tức, bạch thầy, bạch Đức Lại Lai Lạt Ma, Ngài biểu con học giáo đi học về cái chân thật này để làm cái gì? What's in it for me? Có lời gì cho con? What's in it for you?
It seems like it come in handy at some point to know the ultimate truth.
Ông nói là tôi hy vọng, ông hy vọng một ngày nào đó nó có cái hữu dụng của nó. He hopes that someday become useful, that someday he will obtain rebirth of the Pure Land. Một ngày đó hy vọng được vãng sanh. Right? Wow, so impressive, so smart. Oh, so American. Yes, help him out.
Well, that's when you're saying ultimate truth, the ultimate truth of what? Of the answer to existence?
The ultimate truth. The ultimate truth.
Of what?
Okay. Ultimate truth, whatever it is.
Ultimate truth is truth.
Okay? Để làm cái gì? What for? Kim Điền now cannot control herself anymore. Yes. Yeah. Kim Điền is so smart. She says, if I know the truth, then I know what's false. Now I don't believe the false anymore, I only believe the truth. I believe in God and country. Tôi chỉ tin vào Thượng Đế và tin vào cái Tổ quốc thôi. That's the ultimate truth. Đó là cái sự thật tối thượng. And then what? You believe in God, you believe in country, and then what? Rồi gì nữa? These people are so screwed up. Tin thôi. Huh? Come on, the rest of you. Please tell me, what's the point in believing? You, Chinese woman, what's the point in believing? Quý vị người Hoa, thầy hỏi quý vị một cách thực tế, quý vị tin để làm cái gì? Please answer me. Tin để làm cái gì? What are you, children? Quý vị con nít hay sao không hiểu? You don't know anything about life. Không biết về cái cuộc sống là cái gì hả? It's horrible. How can you live your life like that? Tin, you believe. You believe? Tin nó làm cái gì? Huh? You want to trust your husband, tin chồng mình, and someday he cheats on you, and then what? Huh? You don't believe him anymore, không tin được nữa. Okay? You believe in God, and someday you find out that God is not what He is as described when you go near Him. Quý vị tin Thượng Đế rồi tới gần Thượng Đế mới thấy, ủa, cái ông Thượng Đế ta đâu có giống như mình tưởng, nó rất mình tin đâu. And then what? Because your faith is useless. Cái lòng tin nó vô dụng. So faith is not the answer. Cái lòng tin nó chả có lợi gì hết. Faith is not ultimate. Cái lòng tin nó không phải là tối thượng, không phải rốt ráo. Trở về lại vấn đề, quý vị biết cái sự thật để làm cái gì? You want to know the real truth. What for? Huh? What for? Oh, first of all, do you want to know the real truth? Tại xin lỗi, thì đi ngược, hỏi lại, đi chậm lại một tí. Quý vị có muốn biết sự thật hay là không? You really want to know the real truth? The mother of truth? The mother of it all? Cái nguồn, cái sự chân, cái sự thật mà tối cao nhất, chân thật nhất đó, thì would you like to know? No, huh? What for? Biết là làm cái gì? What for? You shave your head. What for? Thank you. The truth will liberate you, will end your suffering. Quý vị biết sự thật để mà đắc giải thoát, để mà đoạn cái khổ. When you know the ultimate truth, khi mà quý vị thấy được cái sự thật, cái chân thật đó, quý vị không còn khổ nữa. Tất cả khổ nó biến mất. All your suffering disappears. I repeat, no more suffering. When the very moment that you see the ultimate truth, ngay cái sát na mà quý vị thấy được cái chân thật đó, cái sự thật tối thượng đó, tất cả cái khổ nó biến mất. All your sufferings come to an end. There's no more suffering. That's why we want to see and know the ultimate truth. Because until that moment where you are able to see the ultimate truth, your existence is one of. Tại vì trước khi mà quý vị thấy được cái sự chân thật đó, thì cuộc sống quý vị là cuộc sống của of what? Of suffering. Cuộc sống của cái khổ. Okay, now you can throw tomatoes at me. Because you don't want to hear it. Really. The truth is very hard to swallow. Cái sự thật nó khó mà chấp nhận lắm. Your life is so full of suffering. Cuộc sống quý vị nó đầy rẫy cái sự khổ não. And the only way to end it, all of it, is to see the ultimate truth. Cách duy nhất mà quý vị thể liễu tất cả những cái khổ này là thấy được cái sự chân thật. Cách duy nhất, that's the only way. There's no other way. Không cách nào khác hết đó. No other way. You can go to the heavens. Quý vị có thể lên quả trời. Okay? It will not end your suffering. Nó không thể nào liễu cái khổ của quý vị được. Okay? You can become you can become immortal. Quý vị có thể thành một ông tiên and live for tens of thousands of years. Okay? Sống đã 10.000 năm, 20.000 năm, 30-40.000 năm. Okay? It will not end your suffering. Không thể nào liễu cái khổ quý vị được. You can marry the one you madly in love with. And you know what the answer is. Okay? Same results. He will end up becoming a gambler. Okay? Quý vị có thể cưới cái người yêu của quý vị. And still và cuối cùng quý vị vẫn là thấy cái khổ như thường. Anyone had experience before? Có ai thấy cưới cái người mình thương yêu mà cuối cùng mình thấy khổ như thường không? Hey, put your hand up. You're not supposed to raise your hand. No one. I'm supposed to be the only one who raise your hand. So come on. Let's be tactful. Let's be tactful. Mình phải biết khéo léo. That's part of the ultimate truth. Cái đó là cái khéo léo trong cái chân thật đó. Oh yeah, you better believe it. When you see the ultimate truth, you become so tactful. Quý vị biết không? Đừng có cười như thế, đừng thành xạo quý vị đó. Khi quý vị thấy được cái sự chân thật rồi, quý vị rất là khéo léo. Mấy tụi khờ mới giơ tay. Only the people who haven't seen the ultimate truth would raise your hands. Okay? Giơ tay lên là khổ lắm con ơi. You dare raise your hand, you'll be in big trouble. See that? Don't you dare. Don't you get started. Cái bài sao cứ nhất định cứ giơ tay lên như thường. You guys are glutton for punishment. Any questions? So Buddhism is very practical. Bởi vì mình học cái kinh này, you learn about the Heart Sutra. You recite the Buddha's name, quý vị niệm Phật. Quý vị niệm Quán Thân Bồ Tát, you recite One Yin's name. You recite mantra, tụng thần chú, in order to understand the ultimate truth and end all your suffering. Tất cả chúng ta làm đây đó, để đưa tới cái mục tiêu cuối tối thượng là hiểu được cái chân thật. Và lúc đó quý vị sẽ hết hoàn toàn khổ. And not only end suffering, không phải chỉ là liễu khổ không mà còn đắc lạc. Attain bliss. Lúc đó không phải chỉ là tất cả cái khổ nó hết, mà lúc đó quý vị sướng không thể tưởng được. You're so happy. Always. Nói cách khác, cái chân thật nó sẽ không cho phép quý vị sẽ còn khổ nữa. If you succeed, then you will permanently end your suffering and will be permanently be blissful. Và quý vị luôn luôn được an lạc. You'll be peaceful and blissful always. Is it possible? Có thể được như vậy không? We hope. I don't know. This is only theory. I haven't been there yet. Thầy chưa tới đó, thầy không biết được. Thầy chỉ nghe cái giáo lý. This is only from the book. Sách nói như vậy. Okay? Sounds good? This is what interests me. Cá nhân thầy muốn theo học vì vậy đó. Tại thầy thấy nếu như có thực sự mà có cái như vậy thì nó đáng. It's worth my time. Nó đáng để mà tìm hiểu, đáng để mà tu. It's worth investigating, worth pursuing. Yes or no? Because nếu như cái vị mà if you after money, after love, nếu cái vị tìm theo tiền, theo tài, cái vị tìm theo tình thương, They always come to an end. Tất cả những cái đó nó sẽ chấm dứt. You know, one day, you know, your wife will spend all your money. Ngày nào đó bà xã quý vị sẽ lấy sẽ xài hết tiền quý vị. Or worse, còn tệ hơn nữa, she divorced you and get half of it, even worse than spending all your money. Hoặc là bà ly dị quý vị và chia đôi gia tài, cái đó còn tệ hơn là xài hết tiền quý vị nữa. At least it depends all on your money. Then you still in love and be poor but in love. Ít nhất mà hết tiền thì hai người còn thương yêu như sống trong mái nhà tranh. Male thing. Ouch. Ouch. Vicky, that hurts.
I know.
You see? Tất cả cái việc làm trong cuộc đời này á, nó chỉ là tạm bợ thôi. Everything you do in this life is temporary. You make it to Western Bliss Pure Land. Quý vị tới về Tây Phương Cực Lạc, nó trở thành là một cái mục tiêu vĩnh cửu. You go to Western Bliss Pure Land, it is forever. Okay? The fact of the matter is that it's very difficult for you to see the true emptiness. Sự thật á, thầy nói quý vị nghe, quý vị mà khó thấy được cái chân không này lắm. Your best bet is to go to Western Bliss Pure Land. Cái kiếp này mà quý vị thấy được chân không nó khó lắm. Tốt nhất là về Tây Phương Cực Lạc. Thì kiếp sau thầy thấy chân không. Then the next lifetime you will see true emptiness. Okay. Questions or comments? Ai Kiên thắc mắc gì không? Yes. What's the difference between emptiness in Mahayana versus emptiness in Hinayana? Hai cái nó khác nhau. It's two different things. Hinayana does not have true emptiness. Bên tiểu thừa không có cái chân không. Đại thừa mới có chân không. Only Mahayana has true emptiness. Hinayana only has emptiness. Bên tiểu thừa đó thì chỉ thấy được cái không mà không thấy được chân không. They only see emptiness. They cannot see true emptiness. That's why the Hinayana have not ended the suffering yet. Bởi vậy, tiểu thừa vẫn chưa đoạn tất cả những cái khổ. Not yet. Trust me. Nếu họ nói họ đoạn thì họ sai lầm. Họ chưa đoạn hết đâu. Yes, sir.
So Hinayana Arhat is not seeing true emptiness? The fourth stage Arhat is not seeing it?
Not at all. Very far from it. Những người A-la-hán không thấy được chân không nữa đó. Còn xa lắm. Xa tít thọ lò. It's so far away. Yes. Yes. Bồ Tát mới thấy được chân không. Bồ Tát thấy chân không. That's correct.
So that's really where Buddhism really starts.
That's where what starts?
Mahayana really starts there.
And that's when life becomes truly fun. Khi mà quý vị thấy được chân không rồi, lúc đó cuộc đời quý vị nó thích thú dễ sợ lắm. Thích thú không thể tưởng được. It's so fascinating. Then it's worth living. Nó đáng mà sống. Cuộc sống quý vị nó rất là có ý nghĩa, rất là sung sướng. And truly there's no more suffering. Lúc đó không còn khổ nữa, thiệt sự không còn khổ nữa. Okay? It's so wonderful. Nó tuyệt vời dễ sợ lắm. Okay? Thầy nói ví dụ, chẳng như tiểu thừa, cái niết bàn, tại cô này câu hỏi thì this lady asked about Nirvana, the Hinayana, emptiness. Cái không của người A-la-hán đó, Nó chưa phải là không. It's not truly empty yet. The emptiness of the arhat is not truly empty yet. Why is that? Tại sao như vậy? Tại sao như vậy? Yes, vẫn còn chấp trước. That's correct. Because they're afraid of bodhisattvas. Thật sự thật á, A-la-hán sợ Bồ Tát lắm. They don't dare go near bodhisattva. Họ không dám tới gần Bồ Tát. Thấy Bồ Tát đâu là họ né cho đấy. I've seen so many arhats. They don't dare go near bodhisattva. Họ không dám tới gần Bồ Tát. Họ sợ lắm. That's the proof in my mind that they are not truly empty yet. Có nghĩa là cái ngã họ chưa thật sự là không. Còn sợ như thế. Hiểu không? If you truly are empty, if you truly are empty, you have no truly yourself is really empty. Why would you be afraid? Nếu cái ngã quý vị thực sự nó hết rồi, thì tại sao quý vị còn sợ nữa? It's impossible. It's still suffering. Sợ là khổ. When you suffer, when you're afraid, then you are suffering. Am I correct? Agree, disagree? Anyone fearful? Có ai sợ không? All of you should be raising your hands. Okay? You are fearful, aren't you? Right? That's suffering. Đó là khổ đó. Sợ là khổ đó. I call fear the private suffering. No one knows. Cái sợ là cái sự đau khổ mà riêng tư của nó, ít người biết. You afraid to grow old, sợ già. You afraid to be rejected, sợ người ta từ bỏ mình. You afraid to fail, sợ thất bại. Right? Nó sẽ ít chưa. Nó dày vò cái tâm của quý vị. The arhats, they're afraid of bodhisattva. That's what I discovered. Thầy thấy mấy người A-la-hán họ sợ Bồ Tát lắm. Oh yeah. Okay. Anything else? Yes.
They're afraid of bodhisattvas, masters, because it's not within their dharma.
Because they realize that the dharma, the practice, does not produce the results of a bodhisattva, inferior results. That's why they're afraid. Because they have no way to be better than that. Thầy có dẫn chứng nào không? I have proof. What proof do I have? What proof do I have that arhats are afraid of bodhisattvas? Hey, Chinese people, what proof do we have? 入经有什么证明？ Quickly. This woman only talks from books. Các bà này chỉ là mọt sách thôi. How long have you been here, honey? 5 years? Oh my God. But you Chinese, right? Okay, yeah, that's right. That explains it. What proof do we have that arhats are afraid of bodhisattva? Mình trong có cái bằng cớ gì, bằng chứng gì mà thầy dám nói rằng người A-la-hán sợ Bồ Tát? Huh? What proof?
Because our hearts are attached to their own, they have many attachments that are within
But there's proof. There's proof in Buddhism that our hearts are afraid of Bodhisattva. Trong cái kinh giáo Phật điển, kinh điển của Phật giáo đó, nó có bằng cớ là Bồ Tát A La Hán sợ Bồ Tát. In the Vimalakirti Sutra, trong kinh Di Ma Cật. Nhỏ nó nhớ. Vimalakirti is a Buddha or Bodhisattva. Okay. Ông Di Ma Cật là một cái vị hóa thân Bồ Tát, hóa phân thật Phật. And the sutra begins with all the arhats are afraid that he's sick. Ngài Di Ma Cật bị bệnh. Okay. And he's a well-known Buddhist. The arhats and the bodhisattva are supposed to go and pay him a visit and wish him well. Những đời xưa đó, khi mà nghe những người mà có trưởng lão bị bệnh hoạn, mình phải tới viếng thăm, vấn an, ok? Đem trà, đem nước tới, ok? Đem trà sâm tới, and you're supposed to bring them tiên rận, ginseng tea. And so what happened is that the great arhat disciples of Shakyamuni Buddha, lúc đó những cái đại đệ tử A La Hán của Đức Phật Thích Ca Mâu Ni đó, không ai dám tới, no one dares come visit him. Không ai dám tới, no one dares come pay him a visit. Tại sao vậy? Why is that? Because they said in the past, Vimalakirti corrected me, showed me that I was wrong. My understanding of Buddhism is so off. Thì các ngài A La Hán mới nói nhau rằng cái kinh nghiệm của tôi đó, cá nhân tôi khi mà được gặp ngài Di Ma Cật đó, thì ngài Di Ma Cật nói cho tôi, cho chứng minh cho tôi rằng cái hiểu cái biết của tôi đó vẫn chưa tới nơi tới chốn. Vì cái sự lưng hoài, mỗi lần gặp Di Ma Cật là bị sơ lưng. Every time they met Vimalakirti, they find out that they're wrong. They are wrong. Họ khám phá Di Ma Cật cho họ biết những A La Hán này là sai. They are wrong. Dễ sợ như vậy đó. So they're all scared of him. Không ai dám tới cho viếng thăm hết đó. So what to do? Làm sao bây giờ? What if Shakyamuni Buddha asked, have you been to visit Vimalakirti? What is Shariputra going to say? Cái vị nghĩ là tưởng tượng như qua. Ngài Xá Lợi Phất là đệ nhất đệ tử, đệ nhất trí huệ của Đức Phật. Mà lỡ Đức Phật Thích Ca Mâu Ni mà hỏi này, con ơi, ngài nói Di Ma Cật nó bệnh, con tới viếng thăm nó chưa? Trả lời sao bây giờ? That's my proof that they're scared of. They still have fear. Cái đó cái bằng cớ trong kinh điển Phật giáo mình chứng minh rằng ngài A La Hán vẫn còn sợ như thường. Yes. Không của tu Bồ Đề là A La Hán. Question Subhuti, especially is number one in emptiness. Is the emptiness of arhat or emptiness of bodhisattva? Emptiness of arhat, clearly. He's an arhat. He cannot comprehend true emptiness. Tu Bồ Đề còn sợ nữa mà. Subhuti is also scared of Vimalakirti. Yes? So what happened to finish the story, kể câu chuyện cho nó xong. So it turns out that Manjushri decides to pay a visit. Thì ngài Văn Thù Sư Lợi Bồ Tát đó. Now Manjushri is the number one bodhisattva. Mà Văn Thù Sư Lợi Bồ Tát là đệ nhất Bồ Tát. Okay? Trong hàng Phật tử của Phật, in all the disciples of the Buddha, Manjushri is the wisest bodhisattva. Thì so Manjushri decided to pay a visit. Thì ngài Văn Thù Sư Lợi Bồ Tát đó mới tới viếng thăm So guess what happened? Như gì xảy ra? They all followed suit. Ai cũng lẻo đẻo đi theo Văn Thù Sư Lợi tới. So everyone followed him. Hid behind Manjushri. Ai cũng núp ở sau lưng ngài Văn Thù Sư Lợi Bồ Tát. So when they showed up, họ tới viếng thăm ngài Vimalakirti, okay, Vimalakirti, thì lo ngài Vimalakirti mới hỏi thăm. So Vimalakirti then say hello to all these arhats and bodhisattvas, và ngài Vimalakirti mới hỏi thăm các vị A La Hán và các vị Bồ Tát. Okay, and then they got stuck. They couldn't answer his questions. Only Manjushri was able to be at par with Vimalakirti. Thì có ngài Văn Thù Sư Lợi Bồ Tát mới ngang ngửa với ngài Vimalakirti thôi, không thua nhau. Tất cả mọi người là xanh mặt hết. Every other guy, they are frightened out of their wits by Vimalakirti's question. Ngài Vimalakirti mà hỏi một câu là họ cứng họng hết. Okay, so these arhats and bodhisattvas was ecstatic listening to exchange between Vimalakirti and Manjushri. Họ nghe cái ngài Vimalakirti nói chuyện với ngài Văn Thù Sư Lợi Bồ Tát với những người khác. Họ thích thú, they love it so much, they learn so much. Okay, in particular, one of them is Shariputra. Trong đó có ngài là Xá Lợi Phất. Okay, the number one in wisdom among the arhats. Đó là đệ nhất trí huệ của bên A La Hán. Okay, so far so good. You see the setup now. Quý vị thấy cái tình hình chưa? So Shariputra was number one in wisdom, thì ngài Xá Lợi Phất là đệ nhất trí huệ, thì ngồi để nghe giảng pháp. So he's sitting there, okay, ecstatic, reveling in the Dharma as being shared. Mấy cái người này hay lắm thưa quý vị. Họ nghe giảng pháp họ thích thú dễ sợ. They love to listen to the Dharma, unlike you. Không giống như quý vị nghe pháp quý vị ngáp lên ngáp xuống. What happened to two girls? Hai đứa nhỏ đi đâu nó biến mất. I see, this is my proof. See there, three girls are outside playing. That's the story of my life. This is so much suffering. Bởi vì mỗi lần giảng pháp nó đau khổ dễ sợ. No true emptiness yet. Vẫn chưa thấy được chân không. There's so much suffering. Okay, so Shariputra was listening. So wow, the Dharma is so wonderful. Ngài Xá Lợi Phất rất là thích nghe giảng pháp. Okay, and you know what happens when you see an arhat? Khi quý vị gặp một người arhat, quý vị biết phải cần làm gì? Who knows what to do when you see an arhat? Yes. Bow, đảnh lễ, and then what? What else? Don't you know anything? Cười không biết gì hết hả? Oh my God. Yeah, that's right. I haven't explained about Vimalakirti Sutra yet. Thầy vẫn chưa giảng cái kinh Vimalakirti cho quý vị nghe. That's why you don't know. Okay, I forgive you. Thầy tha thứ quý vị. So when you see an arhat, cái gì mà bất kỳ A-la-hán á, okay? Remember it now, because I will not, next time I will not be as lenient. Lần sau mà không làm á là có chuyện với vậy á, okay? When you see an arhat, you're supposed to make offerings, cúng dường. So the chambermaid of Vimalakirti, thì cái cô mà hầu á, cái cô hầu phòng á, gọi là cô đầy tớ đó. This is a servant, một đầy tớ đó. Listen to me carefully, nghe cho rõ nghe chưa? Đầy tớ của Vimalakirti đó. Vimalakirti's chambermaid, meaning is his slave. Okay, his servant. She immediately threw flowers on Shariputra. Cái cô đầy tớ đó, mình lấy cái hoa rải lên. Rải tới người, cái thân ngài Xá Lợi Phất. She threw flowers on Shariputra's body. So far so good. So he took these flowers and she threw it, and the flowers, fall down. And so Shariputra's clothes is full of flowers. Áo của ngài Xá Lợi Phất toàn là hoa, very adorned, rất là trang nghiêm. right? Beautiful. And that's a Kodak moment. Lúc đó quý vị phải chụp the next thing, you take a picture. Okay? You're supposed to take a picture. Thành người đẹp, can you imagine? It never happened to me before. No one ever threw flowers on me. Thành không bao giờ người nào mà rải hoa thầy hết đó. Okay? Hint, 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 hint. Next week. Rải hoa. You see, it's beautiful. Flowers fall down on Shariputra. You see, it's beautiful. This is like a scene from a movie. Giống như trong cine vậy đó. Okay, so you have this Arhat here, sitting there, so adorned, and there was these flowers setting on him. Thì Ngài Xá Lợi Phật đừng ngồi đó, hoa nó rải rác trên người. And he said, he had to wait, bỗng nhiên Ngài nhớ sực lại. He says, wait a minute, nhớ sực lại. I am an Arhat. Tôi là người thầy tu. I am a monk. I'm not supposed to wear adornments. Tôi không có quyền mặc đồ trang sức. I'm not supposed to wear flowers. Tôi không có quyền mang hoa. So, I am breaking precept. Vậy tôi đang phạm giới. Okay? So, what did he do? Ngài Xá Lợi Phật biết mình đang phạm giới. Thầy làm cái gì bây giờ? What to do? Hả? Làm cái gì? No, he's an Arhat, remember? You guys don't know anything. You không biết gì hết. Oh my God. It hurts. I mean, this is too much for me. So he shook it. Lắc một tí. Ngồi đó lắc một tí. Okay? So that hoping the flower will fall off. Hy vọng cái hoa nó ra. He shook it. And the flower still stuck to his clothes. Như hoa nó vẫn dính áo như thường. Okay? He shook it harder. Rung ra người nó mạnh hơn tí nữa. Still flowers there, you know. There's still flowers in his coat. And he said, so he used the spirit of power. Lúc đó ông này Xá Lợi Phật mình nổi sùng lên. Mới dùng thần thông của mình. He used his spiritual powers. So, dùng hết tất cả thần thông của mình để mà quăng cái hoa đi. And guess what? Still stuck to his clothes. So Vimalakirti came to Shariputra to rescue. Ngài Vimalakirti mới cứu. Remember, it's Vimalakirti. Guess, nhớ cái ông Xá Lợi Phật này là khách viếng thăm của Ngài Vimalakirti. Vimalakirti phải lịch sự. That's why Vimalakirti has to be polite to him. Have to take care of him. He says, are you having some problems? Vì Ngài Vimalakirti mới hỏi là, Ngài có vấn đề gì không? Shariputra says, how come the flowers, I cannot shake off the flowers of this maid? Nói, tại sao cái thần thông của tôi mà không có gỡ được cái gỡ được cái hoa trên cái áo của cái hoa của cái người nô tỳ này? How come I cannot get rid of the flowers offering from this servant of your servant? Vimalakirti have a smile on his face. Ngài Vimalakirti mới mỉm cười. He says, oh, I'm so sorry. Tôi xin lỗi Ngài nha. Cái người nô tỳ này của tôi đó đã làm nô tỳ cho tôi 28 triệu kiếp rồi. She's been my servant for 28 million kalpas. Something like that. Làm nô tỳ cho Vimalakirti 28 triệu kiếp ấy, thì cái vị thành Bồ Tát, that you become a bodhisattva already. So her spiritual penetration is much higher than Shariputra. That's Shariputra. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't shake it off. Thì thần thông của cái người nô tỳ này còn cao hơn thần thông của ngài A La Hán nữa. Tại A La Hán dùng hết sức nữa, cũng không thể nào mà gạt nó ra được. That's why Arhats are very afraid of Bodhisattva. Thành chứng minh cho quý vị thấy A La Hán sợ Bồ Tát dễ sợ lắm. They lose face, mất mặt, gặp Bồ Tát mất mặt dễ sợ. They get embarrassed. They suffer embarrassment after embarrassment every time they see Bodhisattva. That's why they don't dare go near Bodhisattvas. Thì thật là Bồ Tát, mỗi lần mà A La Hán gặp Bồ Tát đều mất mặt. đều bị mất mặt, thành không dám tới gần, né, không dám tới gần đâu. Yes. To get to the level they don't embarrass?
Yeah, why did they get embarrassed?
Ask them. I'm not an arhat. Why do you ask me? Ông hỏi tại sao mà cái người A-la-hán phải là không có bị mà hổ thẹn, tại sao người A-la-hán còn hổ thẹn? Thầy nói sao thầy biết được, đời đâu phải A-la-hán đâu mà trả lời cho ông biết được. All I can do for you, excuse me, is tell you the story from the Buddhas mouth. Thầy chỉ biết kể chuyện cái vì nghe là lời Đức Phật dạy, thầy đâu có chế thêm được. Nice try. You tried to trick me. Yes. So the question is, how come Vilamakirti, who is a cultivator, has a slave? No, she's right. I'm struggling with that issue. Câu này có lý. Người xuất gia có quyền có nô tỳ là không? Let me think. Can left-wing people have slaves? Can we? Okay.
Nói vậy với thầy.
Hả? Okay. Phá. Good thing I'm not Arhat. I'm so embarrassed. May mình phải A-la-hán mất mặt dễ sợ. This is a conspiracy. Cái gì mưu toan với nhau. Clearly, that's his wife, by the way. The one who asked the question, that slave's wife. Huh? Okay. Any other question? Ai thắc mắc gì không? Yes.
So people like us are ignoring and are very confused. Can we distinguish aha from the justice truth if we are in
Distinguish ahas from what? From whom?
like the rest of people maybe among the Buddhas or
Yeah. Làm sao mình cái người phàm phu đó có thể nhận ra người A-la-hán khác người phàm phu được không? How can you tell? Cái oai nghi, the comportment. The arhat's comportment is very nice. They're awesome. They have this all about them. Họ có một cái lực rất là mạnh. Okay? I used to have a slide of 5 Thai Arhats. Thầy có lúc trước á, lúc thầy giảng cái kinh Tứ Thập Nhị Chương đó, thầy có để một cái hình của 5 cái vị A-la-hán bên Thái Lan. They're all Arhats. One of them is even a Bodhisattva. Okay? They're very awesome. Cái người mà 4 cái vị A-la-hán đó oai nghi rất là dữ. Nhìn vào, you look at the picture, you know these people are very serious. Họ rất là oai nghiêm. Very, very trang nghiêm. Very, very adorned. Very, very, very awesome. The fifth one is he's a Bodhisattva. Một người thứ 5 là một vị Bồ Tát đó. Okay? He's a lot more relaxed. Người Bồ Tát nó thư thới hơn. Người A-la-hán thích gồng. Arhats love to. Okay? Yes. The girls are back.
上次泰国阿罗汉如果老师不讲的时候，我也不知道。他看起来是会庄严，不过我们认不出跟其他的和尚有什么分别，看不出，只是觉得比较庄严而已。
No. She asked a very good question. Let me tell you, because I know she's able to know that. She wants something. She needs to find out. I will tell you how you find out. Thì dạy cái phương pháp để mà thấy. Những người mà có công phu, though you have a little of samadhi power, you can tell. The people who have no samadhi power cannot tell. Những cái người mà không có định lực không thể nào biết được. Người có định lực có thể biết được. If you have some samadhi power, you should be able to tell. How? They inspire respect and awe in you. Cái người A-la-hán, khi gặp một cái người A-la-hán đó, những cái người mà có định lực đó, sẽ thấy trong cái tâm mình đó, tự nhiên phát cái tâm cung kính và cái tâm hơi sợ, hơi nể. It's because they're attached to their awesome comportment. Tại họ bị chấp vào cái oai nghi của họ. Cái oai nghi, why they call awesome comportment? Tại sao gọi là oai nghi? Excellent question. Cái cô đại hàng là giỏi. This Korean girl is very, very astute. Why is it called awesome comportment? Tại sao gọi là oai nghi? 威严，为什么叫做威严？为什么？tại sao vậy? Because that they do it to you. Vì họ khiến quý vị nếp sợ. They make you become respectful, and you place you in awe. Và tạo cái cung kính và khiếp sợ trong cái tâm của quý vị. Yes? Does it help, Ginny? Have you met anyone like that? At the temple? Okay, next time we invite Ahat over, I will bring you. Okay? I will tell you to come for lunch or for dinner or something. Okay? Lần sau mà có A-la-hán tới thì bọn nhỏ cái gì tới để coi. They also have that attachment. Their attachment to they're so stiff on awesome comportment that the weakness is that it reveals them. Tại họ giữ cái oai nghi quá vững đi. Cái đó cái nền tảng của cái cuộc sống của họ. Their lifestyle is about awesome comportment. That's their dharma. So that because of their attachment, they affect you in that way. Thì họ khiến quý vị bị cái ảnh hưởng như vậy, and bị lộ ra. That's why they reveal themselves. Whereas you meet all these old monks and young monks like me, it's no awe, right? So you can tell right away, quý vị thấy cái người A-la-hán nó lộ ra ngay lập tức. That's why the Arhat stands out among all of us. Thành cái người A-la-hán á, là bị lộ ra. Bồ Tát không bị lộ ra. Người thánh, they stand out. They stick out like a sore thumb. Did you ask me? Yes. Which monk? Yeah.
That came here to the first or second event of Sridhar.
Yes.
He was invited from one year.
Yes. Which one? The short one or the fat one?
He was an old guy and he had so many followers.
No, but is that a fat one or the short, the skinny one?
The tall one.
Okay, the fat one. Okay.
He was an arhat or the monk, the old monk.
Cái cô này câu hỏi lúc mà mình có triển lãm Xá Lợi đó, có một cái ông thầy hòa thượng Tích Lan tới, có nhiều đem một cái dàn đệ tử tới. He came with his white robe disciples, right? Quite a few of them. Rất nhiều cái người đệ tử tại gia họ là mặc đồ trắng. See, the Sri Lankan system, their lay people wear white. Okay? Our Chinese system, our lay people wear black and brown. Còn với người Hoa chúng ta đó thì hệ thống người Hoa với thì mang đồ áo đen với nâu. Okay? Okay. So he came and he came for the first exhibit a couple of years ago. Now, did you feel any awe? Did you place you in awe? Thầy hỏi ngược lại, lúc mà ông đã tới, quý vị có cảm thấy oai nghi không? Oai sợ không? Nép sợ không? Did you feel? Were you in awe when you saw him?
No, Master. I didn't see that monk. I saw the other one.
Which one? The skinny one or the tall one?
So this is,
One of the second monk that you have here, that you went, that he wanted to go in. He's the one who brought him over.
Right. Right.
Oh, I wasn't here when the white girl, the white girl, the commentator went to send the whole white.
Okay, let's backtrack. The two monks you were at the temple, were you in awe when they're around?
No.
So, therefore, they're not arhats, okay? Thành ví dụ trước cái chùa chúng ta có hai cái vị mà tăng từ Tích Lan qua đó, ở đây một thời gian đó đó. Thầy hỏi cái cô này có cảm thấy bị lép vế không? Nói không. Thì đương nhiên đó chứng minh cái vị thiết người này không phải là A-la-hán, hai người này không phải là A-la-hán. They're low lives in the system. Gọi là bắt con. Okay? That monk, when you the old monk, from Sri Lankan monk, he didn't really place any awe on you, right? Okay. So he's not an arhat. Ông thầy già Tích Lan kia không có làm cái vị lép vế nữa, là không phải A-la-hán. So that's why you will see a lot of arhats coming to our temple. Nói thật quý vị biết á, có rất nhiều A-la-hán sẽ tới chùa, đã tới chùa và sẽ tới chùa chúng ta. There are a lot of them have come already, and many more will come in the future. You see, just pay attention, Ginny. It's like you can go near them, they look at you, so then it's an arhat. This is how they reveal themselves. So obvious. Okay, look at you, so okay, you become respectful and you're in awe immediately. Quý vị nhìn ánh mắt của họ là quý vị lép vế ngay lập tức. Sức họ mạnh nha. That's how strong they are. Yes. There's a way to block it. Why do you want to block it? Cản lại làm cái gì? These guys are sick. Yes.
Master, not that anyone would want, I guess, us to know, but has there ever been, like at our Shivera events, has there ever been a Bodhisattva come?
Bodhisattvas come?
Yeah.
Why would I know?
I don't know, just thought maybe.
We're talking arhats, we're not talking bodhisattvas.
Well, maybe they gave you a card and said their name and their name Bodhisattva. They handed it to them.
Yeah. You want a cell phone? You're abusing me. Terrible. We're supposed to be constructive, not gossiping. Mình nói chuyện đứng đắn, đâu có nói chuyện thị phi không. Có A-la-hán tới, có Bồ Tát tới không? Trời đất ơi, none of my business. Okay, anything else? Anyone else like to abuse me? Okay. It turns out that going back to slide 111, trở về lại cái tấm 111. Okay. The difference here is that you have to understand this is a Bodhisattva teaching. Cái này là cái pháp của Bồ Tát. So when you go and recite the Heart Sutra later on in the afternoon, lát nữa, khi mà 20 phút nữa chúng ta hồi hướng công đức đó, 15 phút hồi hướng công đức đó, and you recite the Heart Sutra again, You recite all these things and no one understands. Mình tụng cái tâm kinh mà không ai hiểu hết á. Okay? But actually there's something wonderful that happens. Thực sự nó có cái huyền diệu nó xảy ra. Your conscious mind may not be able to understand. Cái óc suy nghĩ cái vị nó không hiểu và không thể nào mường tượng được. But the Buddha nature does. Nhưng điều cái Phật tính cái vị đó nó hiểu được. Okay? And that's why even though the young girls here, the two girls here, who don't understand anything that we've been talking about the last 2 hours, hour and a half, but the Buddha nature understand. Nhưng điều thầy nói cái gì á, hai cô này mặc dù nghe, cô em bé này nghe hơn tiếng rưỡi rồi đó, không hiểu gì hết á, nhưng điều cái Phật tính họ hiểu. Okay? Anyway, any question? Ai thắc mắc gì không? Moving on. It's not about understanding. 112, tấm 112. Nghe kinh không phải để mà hiểu. Nghe kinh chỉ nghe thôi. Rồi cái vị thiền á, tự động sẽ hiểu. You just listen to the sutra, so listen to the lecture, and then later on, today or in the future lifetimes, hoặc là chiều nay hoặc là kiếp sau, when you meditate, cái vị thiền, the seeds that planted on you today, cái chủng tử mà trồng ngày hôm nay đó, they may mature, bao nhiêu nó sinh trưởng. That's how you become enlightened. Và cái vị sẽ trở thành giác ngộ. Okay. Would you like to hear the story how it happened? Cái này nó chuyện xảy ra rồi nghe. I'm not making up stories. I know most of you girls sitting there and say, this master, he talks nonsense. Nói là ông thầy chỉ hứa thôi, nó suông hứa tầm bậy tầm bạ thôi. I have proof, thầy có bằng cớ đàng hoàng. Way back then when the Buddha was in the world, hồi trước mà Phật á còn tại thế, I'll tell the story to demonstrate to you. Okay? Để chứng minh cho quý vị biết, câu chuyện chứng minh cho quý vị biết là thực sự nó có kết quả. Okay? Way back then. Okay? There is a treasure to the king. Hồi có một cái ông bộ trưởng tài chính, cái nhà vua. Okay. Back then there is in India there's a troupe of acrobats who would travel around. Có một cái nhóm gọi là acrobats Vietnamese. Nhảy bổng. What's acrobats in Korean? Chini. What's acrobat in Vietnamese? No one? Ai biết tiếng Việt? Cái acrobat tiếng Việt là gì? Cái cô làm gì đó? Làm thư viện, có biết không? No? No one? Acrobat là người bay bổng, nó bay vòng đó. Bị diễn xiếc đó, người bị diễn đó, nó nhảy tưng đó. Treo được bay rồi nhiều như thế. The acrobats. Hey girls, you know what acrobats are? You've been to Ringling Brothers Circus, haven't you? Cirque du Soleil? No? And I've been to Vegas? Oh, young ladies. Come often to my temple. Next meeting, next outing, we go to Vegas, Cirque du Soleil. Or we go to Ringling Brothers in Westminster Mall. Every 6 months they have one there. Or, if you can't wait, we can go to Disneyland. Free entrance. Free admission, right? Vicky? Never mind. Okay. So girls, there's some real advantages to coming to the temple and listening to the Dharma. So, cái người mà nhảy acrobat, I don't know, thầy không biết tiếng Việt, thầy tha thứ thầy nghe, thầy dốt. Siết như đều cái người nhảy là cái gì acrobat có cái danh từ đàng hoàng. Cái người đu đó, người đu đó, đu với cái siết hả? So siết, okay, Vietnamese. Không, cái người bay bổng trên trời đó. Đu qua cái đu rồi nó siết luôn hả? Okay. The Vietnamese, they don't have a term for acrobat, believe it or not. I don't know how the Vietnamese can make it. Right? Chinese people have acrobats or not? Yes? Yeah, right. Of course. Okay. So, there is a traveling troupe of circus, and there's a very famous acrobat, and they would perform for the king for 7 days. Họ tới thủ đô nhà vua đó biểu diễn 7 ngày liên tiếp. And they make a lot of money. The king would be so excited and they give him a lot of money. Nhà vua mới tới ban thưởng cho rất là nhiều tiền. And people are so excited, và mọi người dân chúng đó, back then they would pile up their beds and climb on the beds to see the acrobats more better. Họ xếp mấy cái giường lên nhau, họ leo lên giường để nhìn mấy cái người nhảy làm xiếc rõ ràng hơn. So far so good. Okay, that's the Indians, honey. Yeah, don't worry about it. They're weird. So this minister's son took a look at this woman, a girl acrobat. Có cái cô nhảy làm xiếc đó. Ấn bay bổng đấy, cô làm hay dễ sợ. Cái người con trai của cái ông thủ tướng, ông bộ trưởng đó, thấy cô một cái mê, si mê. He fell in love with her. So he went home, về nhà. He went to his bed, đến nằm giường dài xuống, thở sườn sượt. He sighed and sighed and sighed. His mind still have images of her, form dharma, remember? Form dharmas, images of her dancing in his mind. Óc vẫn còn nhớ hình bóng của cô này. And then he says, I've got to have her, otherwise I cannot live. Mới nói là không có cô này chắc là tôi chết. So he would not eat anymore. He would not drink anymore. Không chịu ăn, không chịu uống nữa. So his parents come for a visit and ask him, how come you're not eating? Why aren't you drinking? Cha mẹ tôi hỏi tại sao con ăn uống? He says, Mom, Dad, I fell in love with this woman at the circus. If I can have her, then I live. If I can't have her, then I die. Thì cái ông con mới trả lời, nếu như là con mê cái cô, con lỡ thương cái cô mà đừng siết rồi. Thành ra mà nếu mà con cưới cô được thì con sống, con cưới không được chắc là con chết. Chẳng là con chết còn hơn, sống làm cái gì? Okay. And the father says, no, Dad, I can't have that. I can find you much nicer looking girls with better stations and much wealthier. Con nói gì tầm bậy dưới vậy? Cha thiếu gì cô thiếu nữ khác mà đẹp hơn, mà còn được môn đăng hộ đối hơn. Cần gì cưới cô đó làm gì? And the son will not listen. Người con trai nhất định không nghe lời. And so the father was so distraught. The mom saying, you got to save our son. Nói là bà vợ nói là ông phải cứu con trai mình. So the minister sent someone with 1,000 gold coins over to the circus. Và ông bộ trưởng mới sai một cái người tới đem 1.000 đồng tiền vàng. You know, 1,000 gold pieces. That's a lot of money. Okay. Rất nhiều tiền. And told the father of the girl, nói với cha, nói là, you know, the minister's son would like you to give, the minister would like you to give the daughter to his son, and in exchange for 1,000 gold coins. Mới nói là bộ trưởng muốn lấy cưới cô con gái, rồi trả cho ông 1.000 đồng vàng. The father says, no, I won't sell my daughter. Nói là tôi không có buôn bán con cái của tôi. Okay, tôi không bán. But if if he really loves her, then he can join us, and I will allow him to marry my daughter. Nhưng nếu như ông kia mà sống không được, nếu không có con tôi thì sống không được nữa, tôi sẵn sàng cho phép ông gia nhập cái xiết của tôi và cưới con gái tôi. So that's what they did. The young man abandoned his family. Cái cậu con trai đó từ giả gia đình, cái địa vị, abandon money, abandon his future to follow the woman of his love, để đi theo người yêu của mình. And he married her, và cưới bà. Okay? And pretty soon she gave birth to a son. Là cô kia mới đẻ ông này một đứa con trai. Okay? And then so the men, they live very happy together. Họ sống với nhau rất là hạnh phúc. Should we end here? Time's almost up. Sắp hết thời giờ đấy. Ngừng lại đấy hay là tuần sau? Next time? Girls, should we stop here or should we continue? They don't understand a single thing I said. So it doesn't end there, unfortunately. So the woman acrobat would tell her son and said, you know, would address the son's father as a good for nothing, a unskilled person, a horse driver. Là cái bà vợ đó hơi thiếu khéo léo một tí. Nói với người con mình, lúc mà nói chuyện với con thì kêu ông cha mình là cái ông mà vô tích sự. So the husband heard of that, he's very unhappy. Cái ông đó hơi bực mình một tí. He asked a woman, I said, did you call me a good for nothing? Bà gọi tôi á là vô tích sự phải không? I said, yes. How come? Tại sao như vậy? But you are. Thực sự ông như vậy. You doing flunky's job. Ông chỉ làm chuyện vô tích sự không à? Okay. And so the husband says, if you keep on referring me to that, I will leave you. Ông chồng mới nói, nếu như mà em tiếp tục nói với anh như vậy, anh sẽ bỏ em mà đi. The girl says, I don't care. Cái bà đấy, bà đẹp, bà giàu nữa. She's pretty and she has a lot of money. She's famous. She's very haughty, rất là ngạo mạn. So the man says, she's arrogant because of her acrobatic skills. Cái cô này mà ngạo mạn, ông chồng mới biết là tại vì cái cô này có tài. So what did he do? Vicky, quickly, what did he do? Come on, girls, what did he do? He went to his father-in-law and says, teach me everything. Teach me how to become an acrobat. I want to swing just as well as your daughter. Tôi muốn học cái nghề làm xiếc này hay như con gái của ông vậy. So he learned everything and soon he become a famous acrobat. Và ông đã học cái nghề xong, ông trở thành một người làm xiếc rất là nổi tiếng. His fame spread everywhere. Đi đâu nhiều người tới tán thán ngưỡng mộ ông. And then they travel back to the capital of the country. Họ đi, cái đoàn đã đi trở về lại thủ đô for 7 days. 7 ngày biểu diễn. So they're there to do acrobats, đó để mà biểu diễn. And that day the Buddha happened to be there. Ngày đó Đức Phật đến. So when the man was performing, cái ông chồng đó, ông đó, his acrobatic feats, ông đó bayถึง 14 cái vòng, 14 loops in the air. Okay, and he's balancing himself. He's doing the impossible. He's so great. Okay, hay dễ sợ lắm. And you gotta go to Ringling Brothers, girls. Okay. Go home and tell Master said today that Mom, you got to bring us to the circus in Westminster. Okay? They have acrobats there. Để khuyên mấy cô này về khều nói bắt kiếp cha mẹ bắt phải dẫn đi coi xiếc. Tại cái Westminster Mall nó có cái xiếc, you know that? Westminster Mall has a circus every like 6 months at least. Yeah, you didn't know? Okay, well, I usually go to circus in Vegas. How come everyone understands my joke? You're not supposed to say, huh? Never mind. So this man was doing this incredible feat, and the people happened at the same time the Buddha was entering, was walking by, so everyone was turning to the world honored one and bowing, looking at him, saying, wow, how adorned and awesome the Buddha is. Rồi đó mới thấy Đức Phật oai nghi đẹp quá, mọi người trầm trồ ngắm nghía Phật. Mà không thấy cái ông bị diện. They didn't pay attention to him. So the man's broken hearted. He says, oh my God, they don't love me. Họ không có thích tôi nữa. They prefer the Buddha, thích Phật hơn. Okay. So the Buddha know that. Đức Phật mới biết như vậy. Okay. He knew he just made someone suffer. Đức Phật là người rất là từ bi. Biết mình đã làm một người khổ sở, khổ tâm dễ sợ. So he called Mahayana and said, go over there and ask that acrobat to perform again. Thì mới sai ngài Mục Kiền Liên tới, nói nhỏ ông thầy, nói kia này. Đức Phật nói đó, ông bị diện hay quá đi, nhờ ông làm lại đi. Please repeat the acrobatic thing. So the man so proud said, oh wow, the Buddha knows. Ông đó rất là hãnh diện nói, Đức Phật mình biết cái mình tài như vậy. So he said, okay, everyone, I will perform the acrobats for you again. Ông mới tuyên bố là quý vị, với lời Đức Phật dạy tôi đã sai tôi phải làm biểu diễn lại một lần cho quý vị coi. And everyone applauded and said, wow, so everyone watched. And then the Buddha, after the man performed the acrobatic feat, he went in front of the Buddha. Ông ấy biểu diễn xong mới tới trước mặt Phật. Đức Phật tap on his head, gõ trên đầu. Đức Phật said, one gatha. Đức Phật nói một câu kệ. Okay. He says, a 4-line verse, nói một câu kệ, 4 câu một cái. The guy became an arhat. Nói một cái câu, 4 cái tứ cú một cái, ông kia trở thành A-la-hán. 4 days arhat. Okay? And then, so people wonder, and người ta mới thắc mắc. Ta mới hỏi, oh my time is coming, is running. Oh my God, I only have 1 minute left. Oh, this is terrible. This is because of you girls. You get distracted. You distracted me. That's why we talked about circus. Okay. I'm going to wrap it up quickly so that you can go to Westminster Mall Circus. Okay. They wonder how come that fool who's madly in love with a woman can become an arhat just like that. Người ta thắc mắc tại sao một cái người mà si mê sắc như vậy, mê gái như vậy mà có thể trở thành A-la-hán như vậy. How is it possible? Okay? So the Buddha said, Phật mới giảng, he says, in a prior life, long time ago, kiếp trước, xa trước nữa, in another Buddha's time. Okay? There is a group of young Brahmins, có một cái nhóm người Bà La Môn đi làm công quả. They're together going to the temple together to do some meritorious work. And then along the way they saw an old mendicant. Trong trên đường đi đó họ gặp một cái vị ăn xin già. Okay? So a young couple, một cái cặp vợ chồng trẻ đó. They brought forth, have compassion, and they took some food, and the man came over and gave it to the old mendicant. Thì cái cậu trẻ đó mới đem đồ ăn tới cúng cho cái ông thầy già đó, who happened to be an arhat. Mà cái người thầy già thiệt sự là một vị A-la-hán. And he said, ông ấy mới nói, may this offering, may the blessing of this offering. Thầy ông kia mới xin khẩn một câu, cúng xong mới khẩn một câu, nói là với công đức mà cúng dường này cho ông, tôi chỉ mong rằng tôi có được những cái trí huệ mà ông có bây giờ. I wish that we'll be able, my wife and I, will be able to have the same wisdom as you have right now. Cúng một cái bữa ăn thôi và xin rằng, nguyện rằng tôi chỉ xin cái công đức này, chỉ xin để được mở trí huệ như ông có bây giờ thôi. Can you imagine one single offering? And the goal is, the only wish, request is that I have the same wisdom as you. So when the Arhat heard the request, cái vị A-la-hán già đó khi mà nghe cái lời yêu cầu như vậy, he looked in the future, nhìn lại cái tương lai. He says, wow, in the future, this couple will become Arhats. Rồi ông này ông thấy được, sau này trong cái đời Ngài Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật á, cái cặp này sẽ thành A-la-hán. So he has this smile, ông già thầy già ông mỉm cười, súng răng. See, you know, girls, he has no teeth, so when he smiles, his face looks funny. Cái lúc ông cười, ông tỉm cười đó, thì cái miệng ông có răng, thành ra trông nó cười lắm. So the girl who saw that, cái vợ ông này đó, saw that, she told her husband, she said, oh, that man must be some kind of actor or something. Okay, mới thấy ông này cười mới lạ, mới cho đồ ăn mà sao mỉm cười. So the man says, yeah, he must be an actor. He's joking. Cái ông chồng mới cười nó ông đó thiệt, đúng là cái ông đó thiệt là ông già, chắc là gì đó, actor. What's actor in Vietnamese? Diễn viên. As a joke. Khôi hài ông trả lời như vậy thôi. And because of that joke, vì cái khôi hài như vậy, mà cái kiếp này á, because of that joke, this lifetime, he had to endure all the humiliation from his wife. Vì một cái lời mà đùa cợt mà khinh thường cái ông A-la-hán đó, mà kiếp này phải làm người si người mê mà đi bị vợ nó hành hạ. That's why. Okay? And the wife, the acrobat wife, when he heard that her husband became an Arhat, she says, if he's an Arhat, I can be an Arhat too. So she shaved her head and became an Arhat too. So that's how they both became Arhat this lifetime. You see? So that's why that the merit and virtue, you can, if the seeds are there, when they mature, you attain liberation. Thành thầy chứng minh cho quý vị biết. This is a story the Buddha told. Cái này là lời Phật kể truyền lại. Okay? Chứng minh cho quý vị thấy, quý vị trồng cái chủng tử đó, thì trong tương lai quý vị nó chín một cái quý vị đắc giải thoát. Lập tức. So far so good. Sounds good? And look at all the seeds you planted from listening today. There's so many seeds. You planted today from being here for 2 hours. Quý vị mỗi lần tới nghe giảng kinh 2 tiếng đồng hồ, quý vị trồng biết bao nhiêu là chủng tử để mà giải thoát kiếp sau. Special people, huh? Very good. Yeah? Okay, and that's the end of the lecture. Thank you for coming. Now we do the transference for rebirths to help these people. Okay? Mình mời quý vị đứng dậy làm một hồi hướng công đức vãng sanh giúp cho họ. So
I give you another chance, basically, Chinese style, Chinese way. American, I give you another chance. Chinese says, continue to practice, okay? And then she saw him again and sent her daughter again. And again, he failed the test. And basically, she says, get out of here. Yeah, I'm not going to support a loser. So my point is that, especially in America, when people support you, you need to show some results. Okay, and so that's why I have this guy here after 20 years, and the Chinese Nowadays, in the Dharma ending age, the Dharma protectors are so happy to hear that you are cultivating. Okay, you're devoting your life to cultivation. They don't even ask for results. Okay, yeah. But anyway, 20 years of support, and he really got so little to show for, which is pitiful. So my point here is that you can grind it out, but it is much more efficient to get guidance. Okay, grinding out works for a very limited number of people, superior people like Master Xu Yun, who could grind it out his entire career. Okay, that's how he got there, albeit not as high as he could have if he had some better directions. Okay. Anyway, that's why we're learning. We make sure that we learn from the great teacher. Don't waste time. I'm trying to remind you not to waste time. Listen to the lesser instructions. Master Hsuan to me is the best I've seen. Okay, in this Dharma ending age, bar none. So it may sound simple, but actually it's very, very, very good instructions. So that's why we're studying his teachings and we listen to it, and we'll plant the seeds for great enlightenment for you. Okay, I hope. Okay, so here we are continuing with from the last where we're picking it up where we left off, the last Chanchi, some sort of Indian master here who came to China to propagate the Dharma, and circumstances have made him stay in the mountains and to cultivate. That's what we have a choice to do. See, if we are cultivators and people who don't support us, Master Hsuan would say, if no one supports me, I starve to death. So be it. It's not my fault. When I cultivate, the Dharma protectors are supposed to step up. If they don't, it's their fault. It's not my fault that I die of starvation, that I die from hunger, if I die from poverty, if I die from the cold. It's your fault. You're supposed to protect us. You're supposed to support our cultivation. You don't, it's your fault. Okay? So for a person like Master Hsuan Hua, he says, okay, I die, so be it. But so that's why we have the option. We can simply go to the mountain and practice in the mountain. We don't need to pay rent. You don't need to pay for water, electricity, toilet, sewage, and so forth. Okay, so that's what this Indian monk did. He went to the mountain and practiced, and then he tamed some sort of tiger. Okay, and the wild beasts in the jungle, in the mountain. So he tamed some sort of tiger. Some tiger came and took a cane and tapped the cane on the tiger's head. There's a prior part. I read the prior part a little bit, a few slides before, and spoke Dharma for him. Can you imagine you take a stick and you point it to a tiger and tiger would not attack you? It's cool. Huh? It's impressive. I take a stick and I point it towards Xian Chun. She would run away or either attack me, you know. But the tiger, he would stand there and listen to the bull-headed guy speak something to him. Okay, it's kind of weird. It's kind of a very cool state. So you know this monk is unusual. He's no ordinary monk. If you take a cane and tap it on my head, I get very upset. Okay, so you can imagine how the tiger would feel. And then the tiger, after he listened to Dharma, he went away, never bothered him again. And he spoke Dharma for the tiger. I don't know, maybe tiger language. Could be. Yeah. And after that, they stop eating people. Are we there yet? We start on slide 5. Oh, okay. Continue.
游过这么几次啊，咱们以后这个人呢，再见到这个山上的老虎啊，他也不咬人了。
After a few times, when this person sees the tiger in this mountain again, it stopped biting people.
在这个山上他住了，他又有1-2年。
On this mountain, he, Dharma Master Gunavarman, lived there for another year or 2.
以后啊，这个宋文帝一定啊要请他到南京去。到南京啊，那个地方住，他就去了。
Later, Emperor Wen of the Song dynasty insisted on inviting him to Nanjing. He invited him to live in Nanjing, so he went there.
See, this is a difference of the times. Okay, back then, the emperors, our leaders, had blessings. And that's why they appreciated the Buddha Dharma. They appreciated, they understood the importance of spirituality. Nowadays, you don't have such leaders anymore. Back then, the emperors would sponsor the monks and build temples and so forth. Nowadays, they don't. Nowadays, it's tax breaks. It's all money-driven and votes-driven. Okay? And that makes it much more difficult for people to cultivate. And so the emperor heard of him, and so you understand the mindset of such an emperor. He says, I'm looking for virtuous people. And I heard this virtuous person, let's invite him. Okay? And so that we can benefit from his wisdom, from his insights. So that's why he invited the Indian monk to move to the capital city. Hmm?
去了，这个宋文帝呀，就对他讲：“我现在呀做皇帝，本来我也想吃斋。”
He went there. Emperor Wen of Song said to him, I am now the emperor. Originally, I wanted to be a vegetarian.
但是在我这个环境之下，也没不可能，这个情形呢，很复杂，不许可我吃斋，这怎么办呢？
But in my environment, it's not possible. My situation is very complicated. It doesn't allow me to be a vegetarian. What shall I do?
Okay, now, one thing that you need to be aware of, we talk about how the Chinese emperors used to honor the monks of virtues, wisdom, and that's the tradition they set for their own, not the country alone, but what they did for those great emperors, they taught their own children the importance of seeking out the wise teachers, okay, and seeking out the Dharma, because you look at the Dharma as a treasure, as a real asset to the country. So far, so good. Those are the blessings from the emperor and blessings from the people. Now it's not the case anymore, so we need to be aware of that. And now, at a smaller scale, we're not talking about the emperor of the nation. I'm talking about the emperor of the household. That lady, that man there. Okay? You listen to this, and you should also look at yourself, that you are in a position of influence. You have the foresight, and you can make a difference to your family. So back then, the people had the blessings. That's why they had a good emperor who would stir them in the right direction. Okay? It's not just the emperor's blessing alone, but also the subject. They have blessings, they have virtues. But now, we don't have it. Because, let's not go into politics, okay, Chan Phong? He's going to get all upset again. But you are the emperor of your family. Keep that in mind. You make a huge difference, can make a huge difference in your own children's life, your family's life. That's it. That's all you can do right now. Don't forget it. Okay? Yeah. Continue. So the emperor here, all of a sudden he says, I want to be vegetarian, but I can't. It's too complicated. It's not as simple as it sounds. What do? There is beluga, caviar, there is champagne, and there is excellent French food. Yeah, but not enough. Okay, continue.
他就对这个宋文帝说是皇帝的修行和老百姓的修行是不同的。老百姓呢，
He told the Emperor Wen of Song, an emperor's cultivation differs from a commoner's cultivation. A commoner The Emperor Wen of Song wanted to receive the 5 precepts, be a vegetarian and not eat meat.
求就这功德凯法师说你做皇帝的修行和老百姓的。
So he begged Dharma Master Gongde Kai. Gongde Kai said, your cultivation as the emperor versus that of a commoner.
老百姓呢，他没有什么威德，他不能做什么好事。
A commoner doesn't have much awesome virtue. He can't do many good deeds.
你这个做皇帝的不需要你自己一定吃斋，你只要做令这个一切的老百姓得到好处。
As the emperor, you yourself don't have to be a vegetarian. You just need to do things that benefit all citizens.
你做种种的好事，这就是修行。 这个功德开法师对这个宋文帝说是啊。
You do all kinds of good deeds, that's cultivation. Dharma Master Gondakai told Emperor Wen of Song, that is to say,
譬如你发政思人，请做这个好的政策。
for example, you can decree a policy of benevolence and only do this good policy.
你命令啊，这个老百姓啊，他们少杀生，这就是啊，救了很多的生命。
If you order the citizens to kill less, this action will save many lives.
不是说呀，在你这吃一顿饭啊，不吃一个众生，这就算了功德。你要能叫老百姓。
It's not saying that you eating a meal without eating a living being counts towards merit and virtue.
不杀生，只要无形中啊，你就是吃的。
If you can teach all commoners not to kill, then imperceptibly you are eating vegetarian.
你叫老百姓的孝顺父母，这也就是你孝顺父母。
If you teach all commoners to be filial towards their parents, it's like you are filial to your parents.
你令老百姓的改恶向善，这也就是你自己修行。
If you order all commoners to change from evil to good, this is your cultivation as well.
所以你不必呀，说我少吃一点肉，或者少喝一点酒，这就是修行。
So you don't have to say, I will eat less meat or drink less alcohol. This is cultivation.
做皇帝，你只要能令老百姓都诸恶不作，众善奉行，这就是你自己修行。
As an emperor, as long as you can order the commoners to refrain from doing all evil and doing all good, then this is your own cultivation.
这宋文帝听功德开法师说完之后，他说
Once Emperor Wen of Song heard Dharma Master Gongda Kai's words, he sighed.
这个一般的沙门呢，他们都迷远；一般的儒者，他们都迷近。
Ordinary Sramanas are all infatuated with conditions. Ordinary Confucians are all infatuated with sutras or scriptures.
Okay, just for clarity, change infatuated are all confused about conditions. It's not infatuated, confused about conditions. And because I want you to listen to this and understand what he's trying to say, and then we'll discuss it later, okay? So if we let you, we allow you to be confused by this, confused by sutras. is not infatuated. They're confused. They don't understand. That's what Gung Te Kai was telling the emperor. Continue.
Ah. 迷缘呢，就是讲这个因果循环报应不爽。
Being confused about conditions is to discuss the cycle of cause and effect, i.e., retribution will not fail.
Change it. Okay, very good. Continue.
迷信呢，就执照这个文章或者这个典籍也是书所有的一切这个是经书之类。
Being confused about sutras, scriptures, is an attachment to articles and classical literature, i.e., books, all kinds of sutra books and such.
今天我和法师你这一个谈论呢，这真可以了然天人的大道。
From today's discussion with the Master, it really gave me a clearer understanding of the great Tao of heaven and human beings.
Yeah, don't do Tao. Tao is there. Tao, it uses a D. Yeah. It's
天人这种关系于是乎就给这位法师造了一个齐桓寺。
The relationship between heaven and human beings. As a result, he built Qi Huan Temple for the Master.
okay. Stop.
这齐桓
Okay. Questions, comments. You have no questions? Seriously? Back there.
Master, so back to the slide.
Which slide?
19 and 20 is that if you were to teach other people not to kill, become vegetarian, or be filial to your parents, you don't have to be filial, then you already become filial and become vegetarian. So does that mean that I teach other people how to cultivate, I don't cultivate, and I'll become enlightened?
Yeah, basically he's saying that if you teach other people to cultivate, you don't have to cultivate. That's what it sounds like to me as a Westerner, educated person. Huh?
I think only if you're an emperor.
Only if an emperor.
Yeah.
But I'm an emperor in my family. I teach my
He's
family.
talking to an emperor.
I'm emperor in my family. I'm sorry, ma'am. You may not think so, but I'm an emperor in my family.
In the Chinese, it says all commoners. 你教老百姓都孝顺父母。
Yeah.
老百姓。
老百姓 is my family.
No, it's not.
No, you don't get it. There is a sphere influence. Emperor is big. I have an influence on my family.
I think the number counts. The number of people counts from this context when I read it in Chinese.
No, it doesn't. Your number is too small. Lão百姓 is too small. It should be 千百姓, 万百姓, 一百姓. Yes, there's a question there in the back. No? Okay, no questions, no comments. 7.
Oh, thank you, Master. The one part where it says about the focusing too much on causes and conditions, causes and effect, isn't that like the Pratyeka Buddha method of reaching like Pratyeka Buddhism? To focus on cause and effect? Why is it not good?
Yeah, it matters. What are you talking about, you sacrilegious person? Cause effect is a universal rule. How dare you question cause and effect? Yes, 4.
Master, I sort of agree with Wenbo Shenxing. When Heng says it is a few people that he's going to affect, when the emperor says it, he's affecting his whole, the whole kingdom, all his people. When Master says it, you're affecting all your disciples. That's a lot of people. But when Heng says it, it's only a few people. So it doesn't have the same meaning.
Go ahead,
Master, so if Donald Trump tell you to cultivate, meaning that he's become enlightened?
Okay, so the Chinese are disagreeing with the Vietnamese. Yes, what do the non-Asian think? 7.
Thank you, Master. You know, when I hear do the best with what you have. And when they say that the emperor has awesome virtue, that it's the same type of thing you were saying before with the vows to save all living beings, that this is an instance in which you take on the mind of an emperor to make a great decision to help as many people as possible. And every person that you do help is an example of an awesome virtue.
Okay. Makes sense to me. Anyone else has any problems? Yes, number 4.
From Jane, 区名, 百姓 means 100 surnames. 老百姓区名, 老百姓区名 his people.
Okay. Same thing. I stand my ground. He has his people. I have my own family. Okay? Anyone else? Diego, he says, I'm so tired. I have no energy. Can I just rest? Okay. Anyone else? No one is curious? Huh? Okay. Let's shelve it for... Yeah, 6?
Master, I was wondering, does that mean that, let's say we have children and grandchildren and somehow we're able to influence them or help them in their practice, that then we receive blessings?
Yeah, that's what the Gung Te Kai, Indian monk, was saying. You don't have to do it. You just have to put more emphasis on teaching others how to do it. Similarly, like I say, I'm too old, I'm too busy, so you do it. You become enlightened. Then I also become enlightened. That's my cultivation. No, you disagree, a Chinese person? A Taiwanese person? 5.
I think that's taking too much liberty out of this context. He didn't say enlightened. He says he'll have great merit and virtues.
You accuse me of taking liberties now? It's getting personal. Wait a minute. I'm just an emperor of my household, my temple. Can I just be an emperor of my temple? It's not taking liberties.
He didn't mention the word enlightened in this context.
It's cultivation. What's the point in cultivating? You're taking things literally. When we say cultivation, the Chinese say, you Chinese people say cultivation. What does it mean? To become enlightened. Yes, ma'am. I will speak for you.
Yes, Master.
You may disagree, but when we say 修行, the Chinese say 修行, cultivate, it's for purpose, but it's implied. When they say cultivate, is to become enlightened. But the Chinese culture is very subtle. They're not as explicit as us. We are crude. They say, hey, what's cultivation? What for? I say, hey, don't you get it? Oh, you're not Chinese. Oh, by the way. So for the Americans, they say we cultivate to become enlightened. But for the Chinese language, cultivate means enlightened, to become enlightened. That's implied. Yes? So what he said is not unreasonable. Go ahead, Q&A. What a lively discussion. I discuss my own subjects. It's okay to disagree. It's okay not to agree. Yes, Q&A.
Phật, thầy con không hiểu, có thể là cái lời chỉ dạy của vị tăng này quá cao siêu, hay là cũng có thể là lời dạy của ngài không có đúng theo con nghĩ. Nó có một trong hai trường hợp đó, nhưng mà thường thì mình phải làm thân giáo, là mình phải làm trước rồi mình nói sau, chứ mình nói cho thiên hạ làm mà mình không làm thì con thấy nó không có được suôn sẻ lắm.
Amitabha, Master, I might not understand the teaching of this highly Sanghan. Maybe because his teaching is too superior, so that it might be right or wrong. So to me personally, I think that you have to 身教, like you personally cultivate first before you tell other people to do so.
Yeah, cool technology. You can look at his eyes, his face when he's talking. Way in the back there. I only see like a shadow because the lights are so bright here from where I sit. But now I actually can see his eyes in his glasses. He has no hair. So how cool technology is. Okay, anyone else? It's so cool. Yes. He's right in a sense. Oh, now Diego is woke up. You're a bad role model for Ron. Fourth day, Ron can look, in 4 days I can lie down like him. Yes, go ahead, 3.
Thank you, Master. I think, like for example, in my case that I'm cultivating right now, and my wife, she's taking care of all the things in the house. So I was thinking that she may have a lot of blessings because she's helping me be here. She won't be able to cultivate now, but she's planting the seeds for doing it in the future. So I think that's what happens with the emperor. He's helping all of his subjects. So he's planting the seeds that in a future life he will be able to really cultivate.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. Speaking like a smart politician. Anyone else? Isn't it interesting? It makes sense to me. Go ahead, Q&A.
Con nghĩ cái lời khuyên của vị sư người Ấn này đó là nó không có chấp vào tướng. Bởi vì khi mà một ông vua mà dùng cái đức trị để cảm hóa muôn dân thì cái đó nó quan trọng hơn là cái chuyện ăn chay hay là ăn mặn. A Di Đà Phật.
Amitabha, I think that the advice from this Indian monk is not to attach to the mark itself, because once you become a king, an emperor, you use your virtue to rule, and cảm hóa is to change, convert, transform 10,000 of your subjects. That is more important than for you to become vegetarian and not drinking wine.
Okay, very good. Sounds good. Yeah, okay. You all make sense from your perspective. Okay, let's talk about, let's discuss it. Let me give you my 2 cents worth. Okay, he says, so the emperor heard of his cultivation, so he says, we could use someone, excuse me, of your wisdom here, so please come to the capital. And he went there. So kudos to the emperor for inviting a person of virtue to the capital to shed lights on his problems and provide new perspectives for the country. Okay, that's so important. And this is a great emperor. It's just something that should be encouraged, and it's not happening anymore. Okay, that's the advantage of having the emperor. So in a Chinese system where they have an emperor, and that's why they don't have to worry that much about re-election and or allegation of fraud and so forth. Okay, so there's a real advantage here that they have. That he has. So invited here to go to Nanjing, and he went there, emperor says, I have this burning question. I want to be vegetarian. Okay, but it's too complicated. It's not that simple. I cannot be vegetarian, so how do I become vegetarian? I can't. I try to be vegetarian, but I can't. And what happened is that this is what happens when you as a monk go to the emperor's office. Okay? You now have to talk to the emperor, and you have to give the emperor something that more suitable for him, for the emperor. So he says, you're not a commoner, so you're different. Okay? My point here is that, to me, from a purist perspective, this is compromising. Be careful now. He's going to unravel a little bit later. He's compromising himself. He says, I cultivate, but my cultivation is different from yours. Therefore, I excuse you from being vegetarian. I can be vegetarian, others can be vegetarian, but you can be excused. Okay? That is a compromise that usually occurs because you're under pressure. You're given all these honors, all the attention, the promise of support. You don't have to go back to the mountain anymore. And so it's tempting for you as a monk. Sangwok is laughing now. He says, okay? If you go to the, you go and there, this great things you can get. Warmth, food, water, sewage, toilets, nice bathrooms for us Americans, okay? Okay, insulation, a roof over your head. You don't have to walk in the rain anymore. And you don't have to go down to the river and fetch water anymore. You have running water. So you have different frame of perspectives. all of a sudden. And therefore, you speak differently. And this is what he says. You are different. I understand. To me, this is sort of like parallel, the parallel worlds. Okay? I cultivate, we cultivate, but you don't have to. But your cultivation is different. Why does it have to be different? Are you kidding me? So you're exempt from the commoner's cultivation? So since when is Buddhism discriminatory? He says, I teach you differently from the next person. Because you're different, because you're better, because you are higher status. That's what you run the risk of making your Dharma look like. You have a Dharma that serves the emperor and make it more convenient for him when the commoners still have to suffer. That Dharma is fine. Okay? But it's not pure Mahayana. I doubt that Master Shua would say that. I doubt it very much. He's dead already, so I can't confirm it. Yes, 8.
Xin Phật thầy, con không understand why the emperor cannot be vegetarian. I think.
Well, it doesn't matter. The reason is that he says, I can't. It's too complicated. It's too very difficult for me. And the guy immediately says, I understand. I understand where you're coming from. Don't worry. You're exempt. And here's how you can be exempted.
Sound like
You don't need to know the details, but the point is that he's too quick at jumping to the rescue the emperor. That's my problem. Yes, 4.
From Brady, changing food habits to vegetarian is a method of achieving the greatest good to the greatest many.
Come again?
Changing food habits to vegetarian is a method of achieving the greatest good to the greatest many.
Yes, true. Continue.
From Zhihong, in Chinese, we also say 上行下效, which means what is done at the top, those below will follow suit. That is also how the awesome virtue is manifested, another way of teaching.
Absolutely. Buddhism is to teach by example. You cannot say, you should be vegetarian, but I, as an emperor, don't have to be vegetarian because I have state duties. I need to drink with the other emperors. It's necessary for me to force a strong relationship with other emperors because I need to drink with them. I need to go hunting with them. I need to go eat meat with them, lobsters with them, steak and so forth. When you're not enlightened, like the emperor clearly wasn't, you cannot have exemptions like this. That's not the middle way. All of a sudden, the emperor, the Japanese emperor, for example, this is what happened in Japanese Buddhism. What happened is the monks came and taught them, and then or the Japanese monks came to China and learned a lot from a great Chinese teacher. They brought it back and said, I'm going to bring back this great teaching here to my country in Japan. He came back. Emperor called in and said, oh, wonderful, you back. Okay, and exactly what happened here. Same thing happened in Japan. He says, Buddhism is giving exemptions to the Japanese emperor. You don't have to be vegetarian. You can kill. And that's why the shogun would at night read the Buddha Sutra, and in the morning say, go kill. Because they're exempt. So now, Buddhism in Japan serves the emperor, serves the royalty first, not the whole nation. Because they thinking that you serve the emperor, therefore you serve the nation. So there are double standards in Buddhism. It's no longer Buddhism, you have double standards. For confused people. Confused people are confused people, whether you're an emperor or not, you're still confused. Therefore, you must be taught how to remove your confusion. You don't, you will destroy Buddhism. That's what happened in Japan. Buddhism in Japan is personally weird. The double standards for confused people. The emperor's confused, but no, since you're emperor, therefore you exempt all these things, therefore you never become enlightened. If you never become enlightened, how are you going to be able to sponsor Buddhism in a proper way? If I allow a Chinese doctor who sponsors me to tell me what to do, or influence my actions, how can I cultivate? I'm asking you. It's a very fundamental question. If I need to answer to you. I need to answer someone who pays for my bills. That's bound to happen. Yes? This is why the Chinese Chan masters would not go to the capital city upon the emperor's invitation. They say, hey, it's not going to work for me. I can't teach you. You're looking for a dharma from me to suit your needs as an emperor, not as a confused emperor. You see the angle here is that he's confused emperor. And this guy here is giving him exemptions for an enlightened emperor. You understand? You're an enlightened emperor, you don't have to be vegetarian. You can eat anything you want. I can't care less. But if you're confused and you want to become enlightened, become a better emperor, you better be vegetarian. Is it clear? That's why this kind of brand of Buddhism cannot go very far with the emperor, with the country. It didn't last. I don't have any writing or any things from this Gunther Kai, Indian guy. If he has it, I would throw it in a trash can myself. This kind of Buddhism serves the emperor's needs to help him remain confused. How can he be a better emperor if he is allowed to remain confused? This is not a popularity contest. It's not because we need to say something to make the president happy or the emperor happy or the party secretary happy, whatever, okay? It's about what we tell you to help you remove your confusion. That's our jobs. Not to perpetuate your confusion. Because this guy, the emperor, started with a good intention. He says, I want to remove my confusion. I feel that being vegetarian is a good thing for me to get started. Instead of encouraging it, he says, no, you can be exempted. That's what you say to emperors, to please them. You're special, you're exempt from this. You're not as confused, Your confusion will go away eventually. It's a sales pitch. This is what this guy is doing to the emperor. That's why the emperor, what? So happy, he says, I will build temples for you. I will sponsor a lot of monks and nuns. And the guy went away and said, see, I helped Buddhism become stronger in China. My mission accomplished. Better in the back. Mission accomplished. I built temples. I have monks and nuns studying Buddhism. Resounding success. Can the monks and nuns who depend on such money, such temples, become enlightened, you think? Have you thought about it? Huh? If this temple here, you came to do a chanchi, came about because I stole money from others, I cheated others, okay? In order for the big goal of helping humanity, helping build Buddhism, what are your chances of becoming enlightened if the foundation of your cultivation of this chanchi is based on corruption and thievery and delusion? The food you eat will be tainted. The water you drink. Okay? Yes, 6.
Brady has here, surely you cannot be a confused emperor and really be enlightened, right, Master?
Come again?
Brady McBride has here on YouTube. Surely you cannot be a confused emperor and really be enlightened, right, Master?
Of course not. I feel for this emperor. He started with good intentions. And this guy says, you know what, I have a way, I have an exemption for you. I would throw him out myself. I want no special treatment, you hear? I'm confused. Treat me like a confused person. That's why I ask. It's important because when you come to a temple, okay, you know different with this emperor here. He says, I want to be vegetarian. I want to open my wisdom. I want to cultivate, okay? And because you drive a nice car, and we notice it because you have cameras here in the parking lot. I say, oh, look at that. Who is that? It's Vicky, Lexus, SUV. Okay? So, treat her differently. You know, I remember I was at Blue Mountain Temple. Okay, that tiny, tiny temple over there is not even a temple, like 2 houses put together. About the size of 2 houses put together. And Gu Yin is there because Gu Yin was cooking for us. Okay, back then. It was good times back then. Now Gu Yin doesn't have time for us anymore. So I remember we were very poor and no one took us seriously. And because the relics came, and so I think it's a Vietnamese gentleman family came to our temple because they heard of the relics. So they asked, can we see the relics? Okay, and whatever. And then after they, were shown relics, okay, and they presented me with a check, okay, $1,500. Okay, immediately he wrote a check. Can I make a donation, Master? $1,500. I still remember it. It's a big check for me. And so my point here is that very rarely did I find a first-time visitor give me a check of $1,500. So immediately I said, what kind of car does he drive? So surely enough, it's a Mercedes S-Class. Five something, it's not even 4. So my point here is that they do things to expect special treatment. So what did I do? I took a check, I put it in my pocket, and it's only later I found out $1,500. I usually take a check and put it in my pocket, okay, to show, oh, thank you. Okay, I don't go like this. Because if I go in like this, I'd be, oh, thank you so much. Okay, so put it like that. And later, that's when I found out the amount. But he was disappointed. It showed in his face. I mean, he said like, is that all? Thank you, that's it? No tea? You're not going to talk to me? Seriously? I just spent $1,500 for nothing? You got my point? This guy expects special treatment, and the monk gave it to him immediately. That's why his Dharma didn't last very long. Because he's serving the elite. Yes, 3.
Thank you, Master. So we can say that he climbed on conditions?
Yes, exactly. That's what Master Shinhua said. Don't climb on conditions. You cultivate. When you're a monk, you better climb on conditions. Because I said, S-Class only? Come on, if you're rich, you come to my temple, at least drive a Bentley. Then I pay attention to you. No one yet. That's why I'm saying Bentley, okay? When the next guy drives a Bentley, I say, only a Bentley? Maybach, man. Anyway, so he says, the emperor wanted 5 priests vegetarian or eat meat, and then Gung Te Gai immediately says, I give you an exemption. You are the exception. Of course, you are the exception. I will exempt you from it. Here's the problem. This is why the virtuous Chan masters refuse to go to the capital city to see the emperor and talk to the emperor. Because you go there, you're bound to do this. If you didn't, the emperor would be offended. Like what happened to Bodhidharma. Emperor Wu of Liang dynasty didn't hear what he wanted from great master Bodhidharma. And that's why later on, Emperor Wu of the Liang dynasty fell and became a hungry ghost. His mistreatment of Bodhidharma precipitated it. So if you do it wrong, you push them down to fall. And if you do it right, they will be offended and then they will ostracize Buddhism. This is why you better off not getting near them. And see, clearly Gungta Kai was not enlightened yet. That's why he climbed on conditions immediately. Is that clear? So you understand the difference between you and Gungta Kai. Do you understand? You can be doing a Chan Chi for 20 years, like that Taiwanese monk I met. He says, I go to China for 20 years now, 8 months. Typically, I spend 8 months of the year in China doing the Chan Chi. But if you do that and you don't have the proper foundation, you can't get very far. This is why you should be so grateful. This is why every evening, morning ceremony, evening ceremony, what do we do? Say, do not climb on conditions. Because if you do, you may be practicing for 20 years, okay? But your doctor supporter calls, say, hey, and you climb on conditions, all your merit and virtues are gone. It takes people like Bodhidharma, like Master Shenhua, who decided to make personal sacrifices. Bodhidharma could have a huge series of temples throughout China and spread Buddhism very quickly. All he had to do is be nice to Emperor Wu of Liang dynasty. That's all it took. Why not? He could have done it, but he didn't. Why not? So that he could transmit it to the second Chinese patriarch, the pure Dharma, not a corrupted Dharma that has been contaminated by power, by money, by influence. Because that, whatever he transmitted to second patriarch, Hui Ge, is a pure Dharma. If he had the temples and he gave all those temples to Hui Ge and say, hey, listen, you're my successor and you have all these institutions, all these followers that you can build upon, okay? Chinese Buddhism would not be as strong, as great as it was. Now you understand why every morning, every evening, you recite, okay, what is it, the 3 principles? Huh? I forgot. You better not forget. Hey, retired spy, what are the 3 principles? You better remember.
Mô Phật và Thầy. Mình Quảng Ngân muốn nói thì cũng hơi dài nữa. Giống cái ông sư này đó, ổng mà bây giờ kể về cái ông sư này, ổng ở Ấn Độ, ổng qua mà ổng nói chuyện tiếp xúc với cái ông vua Đế Thích này đó, là ổng cũng có một cái định lực. Rồi cái người ông vua này đó, ông vua Đế Thích này đó, thì ổng cũng có một cái nước của ổng đó, là cái quyền lực của ổng rất là mạnh. Mà ông vua này đó, ông sư này đó, thì ổng mới khuyên ông này, bây giờ ông á, làm tốt, làm cái gì đó là ông miễn phí hết. Là ông vua Đế Thích này, ông nghe ông cũng tung luận theo, thì ông cũng độ được một số người, chứ không phải là không đâu. Mà cái ông sư này đó, ông cũng độ được cái ông vua Đế Thích này nữa. Mà rồi đó còn muốn đi vô sâu thêm nữa đó, thì muốn lên tới đại thừa đó, thì cái đó là thầy để tùy theo cho ông tu thêm một cấp bậc nữa. Thầy ngồi nghĩ thầy này, cái ông sư này đó, thầy ổng cũng có một cái định lực mà để ông độ cái ông vua Đế Thích này. Ông vua Đế Thích này đó là ổng một cái nước đó là ổng cái quyền lực ông rất là mạnh, biết không? Ông muốn người ta sống là sống, muốn người ta chết là chết, muốn người sao mà ông độ được cái ông này đó, ông khỏi ăn chay, ăn miễn phí rồi này kia, là cúng một cái tốt cứu cho một cái đất nước này. Thì ông sư này ông cũng độ được cái ông vua Đế Thích này những cái giống ngày Hòa Thượng Tuyên Hóa vậy đó. Nói ông Bút đó, cha Bút đó, ông á, bây giờ muốn nghe lời tôi đó thì ông trong vòng 4 năm cái tiền lương này ông lãnh, mà ông có dám làm không? Ông Bút ông không có dám làm, bởi vì không có dám làm thì sư phụ đó thì cũng không có cho một cái quyền lực, không có cho một cái quyền lực cho ổng để cho ổng thấy. Mô Phật.
Amitabha Master, Boyin would like to say something, but it's kind of long. Just like this monk, he came from India. He met with the emperor and talked to the emperor. That means that he has to have samadhi. This emperor, he has a power over the country, so he's very powerful. So then this monk taught the emperor to do that, and the emperor do as instructed. That means that the emperor actually crossed over many people, not just like that, but if he wanted to go deep into Mahayana, he has to cultivate in a different level. So therefore, I think that the monk can cross over the emperor in that way, must have samadhi, and he also cross over many people in that way. Just like Venerable Xuanhua, he wanted to cross over the Bush father. Master Huat said that if you wanted to continue to become a president, you must not receive for your your wages for 4 years. Therefore, I think Venerable Shenhua wanted to teach the Buddha fathers that way.
Mm-hmm. So that's why it's important for you to appreciate the foresight of Master Shenhua. He says, 动死不攀缘，饿死不化缘，穷死不求缘. Got that? That's the spirit. And that's why I commend the second patriarch. That's what he's doing. It got transmitted to the second generation. Because Master Shenhua had to make sacrifices in order for that to happen. Okay? So he says, oh, you exempt, you're not a commoner. You don't have much awesome virtue. Wei De. Wei De here is not awesome virtue. Here, Wei De here in the sense of you don't have the ability to keep people in awe, or your influence, power influence. Okay, but it's okay. You understand the concept here. He says you have a lot of influence, you have a lot of power, okay, and virtue. Unlike you, commoner doesn't have it. You don't have, therefore you are exempt. Okay, and here's what happens to a politician. Like the emperor says, okay, yeah, okay then, I don't have to cultivate. I'm special. There's a way, this Dharma is cool. This Dharma makes exceptions for me. Even though I'm, still confused, I'm exempt. I have a problem with that. When I listen to this, I say, oh my God, this really hurts. For what? You need to benefit all citizens. And it says all kinds of good deeds, that's cultivation. Okay? And need to do things and benefit citizens. So basically it says it's practice giving. That's his Dharma door. He says, you just practice giving. You don't worry about keeping precepts or take the hard way. Okay, you are exempt from hard work and from making personal sacrifices. You just ask others to make sacrifices. And that's Buddhism for the royalty. You see? Sounds familiar? That's what happens in Japan. You can decree policy benevolence, only do policy. You have to tell them to kill less, it will save many lives. You see, of course it's true. And this is a sales pitch from a monk using the Buddhist principles disguised as Buddhist instructions. It's just a sales pitch. This emperor says, I want to cultivate, I want to be vegetarian. Can you help me? He says, no, you don't have to be vegetarian. It's too difficult for you. Well, you know why not? Because you are special. This is what I, as an emperor, hear from what this monk was telling me. I'm special. Continue to be special. So there's a Buddhism for the emperors and Buddhism for the commoners. Isn't that cool? I stick to the Buddhism for the emperor. You get it now? Disagreeing Taiwanese person? See, so now because you are one, and you only have to worry about yourself, worry about the 老百姓, the 1,000, the 10,000, the 10 million. If you get them to do the good deeds, you don't have to. It's the same as you doing good deeds. Yeah, so wonderful. Buddhism can be so wonderful. Get you to cultivate. I don't have to cultivate because I'm the emperor. So I am the head of family. I don't need to cultivate. You woman, go cultivate. You children, go do Chan Chi and so forth. Okay? And you do become enlightened. I can also become enlightened then. Yes, 7.
Thank you, Master. In other talks that you've given, you've emphasized that for lay people, there must be a middle way. And when I see him talking to the emperor, I think of him as the ultimate lay person. He has to take on the responsibilities of every type of lay life, be it a soldier, a cook, a guest, host, everything he must do that a lay person might have to do. And so I see him giving Dharma of, like you said, giving in any way that he can because he's so entrenched in the lay life. What would be his middle way?
What is what?
What would be the emperor's middle way?
Be vegetarian. That's a middle way. The middle way means that when you're not enlightened yet, there's a way for you to become enlightened. After you become enlightened, and then your way is different. So that's why it's very important to differentiate when you are confused. The teachings are designed to help you end your confusion. When you are no longer confused, it's different. Okay? So this emperor is confused. So he can only have to teach the commoners not to kill. Therefore, he's being vegetarian. What kind of Buddhism is that? I never heard of any such thing. You teach all commoners to be filial towards your parents, then you can go ahead and kill your parents. Because you only kill one set of parents, whereas you have 100 million people who are being filial to their own parents. Therefore, this is nothing. And you ask commoners to change from good to evil, evil to good, and that's you as well. So you don't have to eat less meat or drink less alcohol because you're getting others to cultivate for you. It's just like this lady here says, my husband will cultivate for me, and therefore I'm cultivating. Duh! Sounds good? Buddhism is wonderful. As long as you order a commoners to him doing evil and doing good, then this is your own cultivation. And he's so happy, he said, this is such, Buddhism is so wonderful, I will build temples for you. And you know why? I never heard such great things. Because the other monks could not explain it to me because they're confused about conditions. And the confusions, and they are confused about principles only. They can't advise me in what to do. And what is confused about conditions, I talked about, the cycles, the cause and effect, retribution will fail. Because, hey, I'm exempt. They couldn't even understand I'm exempt. You see that? That's what it means. I read this, what is it talking about? Oh, yeah, him. I'm exempt. I'm exempt from cause and effect. This Buddhism is fantastic. And the Confucians who brainwashed the Chinese very well, Asians very well. You lucky you're not Asian. We all brainwashed by Confucius. There's some good parts about it, but when you get to a high level, it's so darn confusing. Confucius was very good for stupid people who need to be kept in check to serve the emperor. You guys are lucky. You know, you're not Asian, trust me. Because the Asians are brainwashed. When I teach my Asian disciples to a high level, now I said, let me tell you, don't quote me your Confucian value systems. It doesn't apply to me, doesn't apply to us. Brainwashing is necessary for confused people. They're not designed to help them open the wisdom. They're only designed to keep them in check. That's all. So it's packaged under, you be humane, you have to be filial, you have to respect the rights, you have to respect authority in order to keep you in check. That's all. You need to blindly follow. Okay, so So that's why they have a lot of articles in classical literature, and they say these are the principles of humanity, humaneness, of etiquette, and so forth, okay? I'm not saying they're not important. They're important, okay? However, when you need to also be free from those constraints in order for your wisdom, your true wisdom to unfold. Confucius never intended to develop wisdom in the people. That's why the Buddha had to come. You get it? If Confucius was able to do it, why would the Buddha need to come to the world? Why did the Chinese have to go to China? And the patriarch had to go to China. So from today's discussion with the great master, I have a clear understanding of the great way of heaven and human beings. Meaning, I'm the son of heaven, I'm exempt. You human beings are not. It's disgusting. I read this, I feel like barfing. What kind of Buddhism is this? You cannot teach confused people this way. There's no foundation for this guy, for his brand of Buddhism. His temple, see? As a result, he built Qi Huan Temple. You give me that temple, I would take it, but then I would sell it right away. Because it's corrupt. I don't want it to be known as a Buddhist temple. I would take it because it costs money, okay? Sell it so, to a non-Buddhist person so that it ceases to be a Buddhist temple. We have our standards. And this is the problem with the young monks who says, I'm going to build temples. I'm going to save a lot of people. I'm going to teach people about Pure Land Buddhism and confuse the heck out of them. But at least someday they'll be saved. Buddha said so. You recite my name, you'll be guaranteed rebirth to the Pure Land. It might take a little bit longer, but at least you get reborn to the Pure Land. Isn't it better? That's why I call corrupt Pure Land Buddhism. It's not for everyone. Yes, it's good to have to go to these corrupt temples and so forth because that's all you got. It's okay too, but not for us. No thanks. And the sixth patriarch, and all the great patriarchs says, no thanks. Yeah, let, what's his name? Sheng Xiu go to the emperor, okay, and get the royal patronage and build a lot of temples and make Buddhism such widespread throughout China. Wonderful. Sixth patriarch says, not for me. I will teach my followers, my handful of followers. That's good enough. Okay? Buddhism is big enough so that it has Sheng Xiu to serve such people, the Lao Bai Xing. And then the sixth patriarch says, I'm going to teach only, a superset of people. That's it. So that Buddhism had different levels. I'm not saying he shouldn't do it. Okay? This Gung Te Kai is okay. If he builds temple and he talks to the emperor like that, it's okay too. There's nothing wrong with it. But not for us. Not for me. That's all I'm saying. I'm not taking our high road or anything. I'm just saying Buddhism has many different gradations, many different levels. Which one do you want? Is that clear? That's all. It's your personal choice. We're not going to stop you from going to, Qi Huan Temple. Go. Have fun. But when you come back, take a shower. It's fun. It's okay. We embrace it all. You understand? Please don't understand that I'm a high road. I don't care. And this is inferior. No. For us, it's that it's not for us. You know? Buddhism still serves Japan well in a certain way. Okay? It helps. It prepares them. Just like my late father, he went to a lot of teachers. Vietnamese teachers, famous ones, and Tibetan teachers, and all those things. Eventually, he ended up on Master Hsuan Hua, and that's how I look at that and say, oh, they're being prepared to go. It's okay. That's Buddhism too. Okay, time is up, everyone. Thank you. So remember, Super Lotto. Now back to the real world, okay? We talk all we want, but we still need to eat tomorrow. You know, I can't express how grateful I am to Master Hsuan Hua. His teaching is so profound and provide a guiding light for myself personally. You know, that is priceless. That's why we're doing this. Spread the word. He's a great teacher. His disciples may not understand it, may not appreciate it as much as they're supposed to. But the teaching is fantastic. It's such pure Buddhism, untainted. Okay? Thank you.